Oh my goodness.
Welcome, everybody. We are back with an upgraded but technical difficulty episode of Raw Talkin. I'm
We're
Andrew.
doing our best today. That's what's happening.
I'm Andrew, aka Titus, and that's Joe, aka possibly Joe, might be Joe, technical difficulty Joe.
Yeah, that's how I feel right now. I'm
Yeah,
I'm
we've
much bluer today.
we've been. I like the blue. The blue looks good. Much
The blue I mean
cooler.
I quite like my digs.
Cool. It looks good. It was a little red there. Like I don't know, like the color correction was a little freaky and was trying to
I
like really make you red for some reason.
Yeah, and I had
it
it
was
set to like auto. I don't know. It
it
was
was
very warm for
it
being
was
auto.
very red. And I'm like, what the
Yeah.
fuck? Oh, I
This
mean,
does look significantly better.
he's like, I know Joe has a little bit of pink in his skin tone, like right here and just right here in the cheek area, but like it
Yeah, I'm a
wasn't
pasty
that much
boy.
red. Fuck.
Yeah,
It
I
was
don't
just
know.
like Ooh,
And I probably
red.
overcorrected, so we'll have to see,
No, I
but
like it. I think it looks really good actually.
either way.
Either way, we are back after
An extra week off.
a week off due to moving and such. As you guys could probably see in the background, Joe has a new backdrop with some new stuff going on in the background,
Mm-hmm.
which is pretty cool.
It was a busy weekend. My feet hurt for days, but we got the move done.
Yeah, we were lucky enough. Like um, we did our move because we had the apartment still, so we did it over like a month or so, and then we did all the big shit. But we were
Hmm.
able to like come here because my mother-in-law likes to paint, and so she's
Yeah,
like, "Oh, we'll paint. Just buy all the stuff." I'm like, okay, well, buy all the shit. And they repainted our ugly ass basement that was red and blue. It's fucking disgusting. And
and now you have it decorated for Spider-Man stuff, anyways.
yeah, in Logan's room, it's decorated for Spider-Man.
Yeah,
But the rest of the whole basement was that
I
bad.
no, I
It
know.
was so bad. It was so bad. I don't understand.
We only we only painted two places. One was this room. The two walls behind me that are bright blue, which they're a little greener, but again, camera problems.
Yeah.
But they were like navy before, with also glitter in the paint.
Ugh.
So this room was very, very dark. It was not that much glitter. It was borderline tasteful,
It
um,
was enough to be noticeable though. I bet.
but it was enough to be noticeable. And the room was just super dark because the lighting in here is not amazing. Then like the ceiling fan has some lights on it, and then we painted one other little tiny part of the house that was just used for part of a kid's room. So we painted it, but we didn't have to do much other changes. The only other things we've done is we replaced a couple light fixtures, and we also had the house for about a month, so we were able to move in over the course of things.
Man, I followed a Twitter that is about retweeting when some people go live and stuff and all that shit. And now my feed is just nothing but streamers and such that are going live. It's like, oh, okay, well, actually, following you probably isn't going to do much because just tons of people are following you. It's not gonna...
I totally forgot we made a crazy monster last time, and it has a question mark icon.
Yeah.
I did. I was trying to figure out what that was, and I totally forgot we made a boss monster or whatever.
Yes. Michael! My Lord and Savior. The man, the myth, the legend. Yeah, we made the Dragon Lord.
Yeah, Draco Lord, which we are almost certainly not going to be able to make Draco Lord 2.
I think this is gonna be the team we beat the final game with. Probably.
I suspect like because to make Draco Lord 2 the thing where he turns into into a dragon or whatever, he's still a boss class, but to do that we need Divinion, which is like a super. You remember Sky Dragon, which we got rid of a long time ago?
Mhm.
Divinion is like a super Sky Dragon that has a very specific, like, we'd have to get really lucky to find the right thing to try to turn this guy into. So, I think we need to level up a little bit, but Draco Lord's also probably super powerful.
We do need to level up a little bit. I was looking to go to put some of the shit away because we got a lot of.
I was gonna say grab a warp wing just in case, but you probably with a super monster like that, you can probably just walk into the next story place and be fine. He's already got 90 HP, and I'm pretty sure that's level 1.
Yeah, he is level 1. He has a lot of HP. Like.
Yeah, so I think you'll be. I think you'll be able to walk right into the next story place and be fine.
Do we have anything that we need? We have a sirloin that we could take. I think. No, yeah, no warp.
Oh, did you just now notice Orion was sitting here,
Right there.
sleeping? We now have dogs can be in the stream on my side too, because there's a bed behind me now.
My door is shut, so Kiara won't come in here. But if I
We're gonna see.
If I open my door, she would come up and lay right there, and she could see her use the freaking pillows because she just uses pillows to sleep all the time.
Yeah. Our dogs now are taking to laying on the bed a lot more during the day, like our actual bed.
Mm-hmm.
But every now and then one of them would come in here and lay behind me for a bit today while I was working, so that was nice.
Yeah, Kiara will do that. Usually she'll lay on the couch, sometimes she'll lay behind me, but Zephyr will lay like either down at the bottom of the stairs with my wife, or right at the door, basically.
Yeah.
Which is probably where he is right now, is right at the door.
I definitely think they are not super keen on how much hardwood there is everywhere, because we barely have any carpet in this house.
Get some rugs, man.
Well, we bought dog beds. You have already been in that portal.
I know. I'm just trying to go level
Oh,
up
okay.
a little bit.
Okay.
If you get rugs though, so that there's just something cloth to rock on for them.
We have a rug below our couch and sort of in the living room area, and then we brought the 2 dog beds we already had, and we bought 2 more. So we have 4 dog beds stationed around the house in case they want it.
Dog beds.
Yeah, just because there's no more carpet anymore. So like the only carpet we have is in closets and on stairs. So there's like that's the only place it is. So
just keeping it on stairs is always good. Just for some
I agree. I think hardwood stairs are a recipe for wiping out and falling down.
You don't need a 3rd dog.
Do not need a 3rd dog. There's not enough room in the bed right now. I'm not going to be guilted about this in public. This is not how we're doing this.
Public attack! That's funny.
Oh, hey, you should grab that warp wing.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find something to get rid of. But I think I can just get rid of some beef jerky because I really don't.
Give a beef jerky to your Draco Lord. Make him like you more.
Give it. Come here, Draco boy.
That's a thing you can do.
Nah, 3 dogs is too many. 2 dogs is just right. 3 dogs is too many, in my opinion.
I'm not opposed to it eventually, but not right now. Not right now.
It's a lot of dog, man. A lot of training.
It is a lot of dog.
What training you have to do? It's hard enough to train in, like, big dumb one.
We did. So our backyard is now so much bigger that
you do have a lot of yard. That's so you just need
we did. Oh, we need to get rid of that trampoline. But no, we ended up getting a clicker so that we can, because now that the yard is so big, like getting the dogs to come in is a little bit harder because they're not just like right there ready to go. And there's enough for them to investigate that they sometimes take quite a while. And one of our dogs, this one, doesn't always like to come when called. And so we went ahead and it got a clicker and some treats right by the door so that we can just go like click click, come inside, here's a treat, and help them yeah.
It's pretty good, actually. It's a good thing to do.
The clicker was good, and Jaden went to the pet store the other day and grabbed it along with a bunch of just like little tiny treats.
Mm-hmm.
And they already come when the click happens. So we're doing a few days of giving them a treat every single time, and then we're gonna start, not doing it every time.
I give my dogs a treat every time they go outside and use the restroom. Just because it's more positive reinforcement to let them know. Because we had some trouble with Zephyr when we moved here. And then after we got Kiara, he's just pissing on the floor, and I was like, dude, what is going on? So we had to start doing like a lot of positive reinforcement to just for some reason he's just like, I fucking hate. Fuck you! I'm gonna pee on everything. You moved me. You got another dog. This is some bullshit.
We had one accident during the move, and that was because while the movers were doing stuff. So Jaden came ahead with the dogs before the movers got here, but they were basically just like locked in the basement by themselves for a couple of hours while we had to deal with everything. And eventually they did. Like presumably Orion had an accident, which like just had, you know,
It happens.
predictable. Yeah. Especially during a move. Like, it was predictable. We weren't mad.
Yeah. Oh, no big deal. It is what it is. So really? I was gonna say there hasn't been much that's happened. I mean, you would think in 2 weeks' time there'd be a lot of shit.
Well, I mean, there was a Nintendo Direct.
I guess that's true. There's a Direct and there was a State of Play. Not a lot. Well, we talked about the Direct last week, or no, it was 2 weeks ago. We talked about it last week.
Well, it wasn't the podcast. We talked about it, but not on the recorded podcast.
Yeah, we did. No way, no,
we didn't record last week.
You're right. We talked about it. Hey, we can record. Hey, Pyre and Myth are gonna be in Smash. Let's go!
I'm very, very excited, and I know that some people are not as excited.
And
I understand those feelings because there are definitely past characters that I was not super stoked about that other people really, really were hyped about, like Terry and like Simon.
Yeah.
But I am very excited, and I was also I certainly never shit on anybody for being excited for certain characters. I personally feel
Fire Emblem.
I'm not going to talk about Fire Emblem when it comes to terms of who deserves and doesn't deserve to be in the game. But
all I have to say is if Byleth would have been Pyra and Mythra first, yes. Byleth would have been well received if it would have been a fucking Fire Emblem character.
If it was the one after, yeah. My only thing with Byleth pretty much still is just that, like, I do genuinely believe that Byleth deserves to be in Smash Ultimate.
I don't disagree with you. It was the timing was bad.
It was the timing, and it was also that, like, I wish Byleth would have been just a couple slots earlier. I wish they would have, like, ended with Banjo or something. Because at the end of the day, Byleth, as far as if we're going to talk strictly ranking the Fire Emblem characters and who deserves to be in the game, Byleth is like high up there because Three Houses is the best-selling Fire Emblem game ever.
Oh yeah, there was never a question of why does she deserve to, or he, or whatever, whichever gender you choose, does it deserve to be in the game? It was the timing was so bad. I mean, if you remember, it was 2018, and we started the Game Awards with Joker's Invitation. And we lost our fucking minds. It was the coolest
Joker
shit
was
ever.
insane.
Like, Persona is in this. They're number one. Atlas is fucking riding Persona 5 because goddamn, that game did so well, and it deserved it. We'll get into some Persona here in a little bit, but peak Persona 5 announced. You had Morgana and everybody on the screen. It was awesome, super cool, loved it. Okay, so the next person to be announced was Dragon Quest. Very much.
Was Hero number 2?
I think Hero was number 2.
I don't think. I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna look it up. Also, stream is dying for me. I think it's Mike.
Oh shit! We're losing Joe. Joe. Dun 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 dun. Yeah, it was Hero, by the way. I was right. He was wrong. Yeah, Joker, Hero, Banjo, Terry, Byleth. Seems like Joe died. This is gonna be in the recording too. This is what's gonna be. We're fucking raw, baby. So yeah. Anyway, I was saying we went from Joker, which was a big pick for everybody. Like Persona 5 fucking slapped. It was everywhere, and it was super cool. And so Joker's thing was big hype at the Game Awards. And then we had Heroes Announcement. Heroes Announcement is kind of niche, very big for the Japanese community because they love Dragon Quest. I mean, you can't argue that Dragon Quest wasn't a big thing in RPGs. We had Cloud from Final Fantasy series, so we have that. And then we have Hero, which is freaking awesome. That's pretty cool. And then he brought some controversy with his ring crits and his mana system and all that stuff, and like doing black and whack and having the percentage to just insta kill you and stuff. But he hasn't actually put up any results in tournaments, so it was kind of a non-issue anyway. So he had his own controversy, but not because he was another anime sword character. It was because he had his randomness about him. Okay, that's fine, cool. It was still hype. I mean, it's still a pretty hyped character. People actually really liked. People liked having this Dragon. We went from Persona, we went to Dragon Quest, and then we had the Western audience get Banjo and Kazooie. And Banjo and Kazooie has been asked for a long time, and Rare, people who do Banjo and Kazooie along with Donkey Kong, or who did Donkey Kong beforehand, were about it. You know, they're like, let's put them in there. And the Western audience really, really enjoyed having Banjo and Kazooie, and they played differently. They weren't another quote-unquote anime sword character, which a lot of video game characters have swords. Cool. I mean, it just fucking happens, you know. It just happens. A lot of video game characters have swords. It is what it is. Could they have picked, you know, Hector or somebody with an axe from fucking Fire Emblem? But whatever. Anyway, he'll be back. Joe will be back. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. I can run this thing. I can talk. Anyway, so then we had Terry. I showed you a character, a fighting game community character, also another kind of character for the Japanese community. Not a bad character. I'm not personally hyped. I was never personally hyped about it, but there were people who were like, this is awesome, you know. We have Ryu, we have Ken, now we have Terry from King of Fighters. Super cool. And Terry's actually a really good character in Smash. He's like top tier. He's very good. And so, you know, it was cool to have. We didn't get female Terry skin, sad, but we should have. And then it's like, okay, let's one more. Who's our last? Man, we started super hyped. We've done pretty well with all the characters. Who's gonna be our last character? And someone went Fire Emblem, and then they went print it. Terrible idea. Terrible fucking idea. It was like, you already knew the community didn't want another Fire Emblem character. You already knew the community was bad, had a little bit of disdain towards some of the Fire Emblem characters, and they were like, let's do another one. I think if Byleth would have been where Banjo and Kazooie is, and they switched where Banjo and Kazooie is to the end, Byleth would have been more well received afterward. What they should have done. Well, I mean, I guess Final Fantasy VII-R wasn't like completely out yet, or it was out by that time. Is they should have ended with Sephiroth at the end of this here, and then for the first DLC character, Minecraft Steve, awesome, really cool character. Like that's super great, appeals to a lot of people. Fantastic. Oh, it was Arms. Actually. Sorry, it was Min Min. Min Min was the least hype fucking character ever. Like, Min Min was like, okay, cool. They should have started with Steve. Then they went from Steve to Min Min. If they would have went from Min Min to Pyra and Mithra, that'd have been really fine. And then they could do Byleth there, and then you still have two more. Like, that would have been more ideal in my... Yeah, I'm not saying Min Min doesn't make sense. It's just like, meh. It's like the least hype ever. Like, meh, Min Min, who cares? If Steve would have been first, super hype. Super hype. Like, that's crazy. but it was okay. But then, I mean, they brought it back. They brought Steed, and they brought Sephiroth, and now they have Pyra and Mithra, which is super cool. Which next week, we will have a stream, next Thursday, actually, literally all of next week, we'll have a stream of how Pyra and Mithra play. Hopefully we get to see their alternative costumes, because I'm very interested to see what they do with their alternative costumes. Something we've talked... Oh, I had a yawn. Something we've talked about is what are they going to do with their costumes? Did your computer, like, straight up just die? How did your computer die? That's not good, man. The raid failed, so the thing won't boot. That's kind of crazy. Damn, man. Damn. There's so many, like... Crazy. What a crazy world we live in. So yeah, I think I don't want to say Byleth didn't deserve to be in the game. Byleth absolutely deserved to be in the game. To get back to the point of the topic that I was saying is Byleth deserved to be in the game. There's no arguing there. You can't argue that she couldn't be in the game or he couldn't be in the game, whichever gender you choose to play as. The timing was bad. Your boot device it can't find the drive that you're booting from? That's not good. Welcome to the troubleshooting episode of Raw Talkin' It. This is Titus here, and he's going to carry the whole fucking episode. So it's going to be about an hour of this. I'm not going to be able to play the game and carry the episode at the same time. So that's just going to be out of the fucking question. That's going to be nigh impossible. I think that's how you say impossible. I don't know. I'm not really sure. So, okay, so state of play. We got the Smash character. We didn't really get anything out of the state of play that was, like, super crazy. A couple indie games. And one of the things that was announced today in the Direct and the state of play was this, like, dodgeball game. It's like a dodgeball Call of Duty game. And so I don't really know how to feel about that. It took this indie, so I learned at the state of play, it took this indie company 4 years to develop this game, and it's literally like either a 3v3, 2v2, or 1v1 dodgeball game. Like, it's cool. Like, it's not a bad idea. It's a great shooter alternative for kids where you actually don't have to shoot a gun. You're playing dodgeball, which is cool. Because I mean, I know there are people out there who don't want to have people who play with, have their kids play with a gun, which is fine. I wasn't allowed to play with guns when I was a kid. Toy guns and stuff were out of the question. But so I mean, it's not bad, but I don't see how they're gonna pay full price for that. Or I mean, maybe $20, $15 would be better for that kind of thing, because that's like it's your birthday or you did your chores for the month, so here, buy this game for $15 or whatever. So it's interesting. I don't know. I'm a little annoyed with Sony because and it might not be Sony's fault per se. I mean, COVID has really slowed a lot of people down, but there's not enough. Like we got first party games, but there's just not enough of them for the launch of the console, if that makes sense. A lot of games are just doing like PS5 enhancements. That's great. I think PS5 enhancements is great. I think one of the main selling points is having the PS5 be backwards compatible. Like that's fucking huge. Like the PS4 is a great system. PS4 is this generation's PS2. PS2 was fucking incredible. You can't argue that the PS2 is not the best console. That has ever fucking come around. You could say Super Nintendo, you're wrong. Super Nintendo was great. It's the PlayStation 2. You're out of your mind. I think PS4 is this generation's PS2. I said it. At me. You're not going to, because no one fucking follows us anyway. So. I disagree with. One of the things that's coming out soon is this game called Outriders, and I just played the demo for it. If you were here before we started stream, I was playing a demo of this game called Outriders. And if you don't know what Outriders is a game made by Square Enix and one other company. I need to look actually. What is it done? Who does it? It's published by Square Enix. Oh, People Can Fly. People Can Fly. People Can Fly also helped in Fortnite and Bulletstorm. Alright. And OG Gears of War? Yeah, exactly. So Outriders is about Earth is fucked. And you're an outrider trying to find a new planet. You go to this planet. Preliminary scans say planet is inhabitable. You go down there. Shit's actually fucked. There's this thing called the anomaly. It's this big, gigantic electric storm that destroys and alters shit. And all that crap, basically. Outriders is a Destiny clone. It's a Destiny clone. Well, I'm just gonna call it like it is. It's a Destiny clone. That's what Outriders is. It's Destiny clone, but with like trying to be Gears of War, where there's a lot of cover. So I played the demo. So number one, I know it's a demo, and I would like to preface this is a demo. At the same time, there was so much audio desync in a demo, it was fucking insane. There was literally times, and there was a moment I played, and spoilers for a fucking demo, but there was a moment I played, and one of the things is this guy was hired to kill the shopkeep. He goes in, he shoots the shopkeep, and okay, that's fucking terrible. Yeah, that sucks. Your main character is now this super powerful thing because she got hit by a storm and she didn't die. She actually turned into this like super being or whatever. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, she takes the gun and shoots the assassin after getting some information from him. And in the game, I saw the gunshot, the head go off, and then you heard the gunshot. And I was like, that was the most anticlimactic fucking moment ever. And I understand what this game is trying to do. It's trying to be this edgy, more adult, run and gun Destiny game. I get it. That's fine. You can say fuck in a video game. Cool. Great fucking news, dude. It's awesome. I don't care. You're getting a lot of death and gore and all this stuff. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, you can make an edgier adult game. That's perfectly acceptable. Make a good fucking game. Make a good game. It's a looter shooter that like you have cover. So you go into an area and there's little barracks of things where you have cover. The cover, they shouldn't have even added cover. There's enemies that will throw fucking grenades at you, so you have to move from the cover. There are melee enemies that will rush you. And then there are people who are shooting you way in the back. So the cover doesn't actually even fucking matter because the melee people will just come up to you and start bashing your fucking skull in. And the other guys are just gonna be like, oh hey look, he's out of cover now. Like what? Why did you add cover in the game? Like what are you trying to accomplish? Why would you even think of adding cover? I was like, alright, that's fine. The numbers are fun. I like seeing numbers when I shoot stuff. Who doesn't? Numbers when you shoot stuff is fun. That's not a problem. And then you got to this like boss fight. And in a boss fight, bosses also have like 1 or 2 special powers that you can interrupt with your special powers. Now keep in mind, this is a cover shooter game, so you have to be behind cover. I was behind cover, and this guy does this like fucking Jesus pose or something, whatever you want to call it, or Diablo or whatever game you play, the pose, and does this fire pillar. And the fire pillar just goes right behind the cover and like literally just like went like this right behind cover and went like this and went like this, while he has lackeys behind him who are shooting at you. It's like, so why do I have cover? What is the point of my cover if you are forcing me out of cover? What is the actual point of you putting this in the game if you're forcing me out of it? Like every action in the game was to force me out of what the game wanted me to do. And that's bad fucking game design. Like that's just ass game design. God. And so that's going to be one of the AAA titles, or that is supposed to come out in a couple months, actually. I believe in a couple months. I'm trying to look at the release date because it's gotten moved. Okay, it'll release on April 1st. Oh, April Fool's Day. Gotcha. Don't pay for this game. Yeah, I know. So that's like one of the main games that's coming up, and I know of like of new games. We know of like some of the remasters. So we have the Mass Effect remaster that's coming out soon, which will be great to play. One of the new games that actually just came out and I've been streaming is Persona 5 Strikers. I love that game. That game is good. The music in that game slaps so fucking hard. The music is so good. God, it's just, and it's made by Omega Force, which are the same people who make the Hyrule and stuff. It's not published by Koei Tecmo, because it's published by Atlas, but it's made by Omega Force, who make the Warriors games. But it's a little different than a Warriors game. Like in a Warriors game, like Hyrule Warriors, which I was playing on the stream as well, is like you're in the map, all right, and then there's enemies everywhere. Or enemies will spawn, and there's major groups of them. In this game, it's a little different. In original Persona 5, when you go into a palace, there's these enemies that wander. And you can go up to them, grab them, rip their mask off, and then you go into the turn-based battle system. That's still in this game. It's a wider map, and then there's little enemies that are walking around, and you can ambush them and rip their mask off. And then when you rip their mask off, a bunch of enemies come around, or like one big enemy and several other little enemies or what have you. There's a bunch of stuff that comes up. So it has that Warriors aspect of all of a sudden you're surrounded by a bunch of enemies. But then it has weaknesses. I mean, you can still get personas that can do skills, and some of the enemy personas or some of the enemy shadows are weak to those skills. So it's more of like this, like, warrior action RPG more than it is just a hit the square button and kill stuff kind of game. So I would say that game is insanely good. The voice acting for being recorded in quarantine is insanely good. And I think that the music is some of the best music I've heard in a video game just ever. The remix to Last Surprise is so good. Like it's just so good. Oh man, I love it. And then we have a Pokemon Direct tomorrow morning. Hopefully, we can get some information on something new that's coming out from Pokemon. Hard to say. I guess we'll have to wait and see what Pokemon does. They're gonna have a concert with Post Malone as well. That game is that's an interesting decision. It's an interesting decision to have Post Malone do it, but I guess I kind of understand in a sense. I don't know. I hope they bring back the Let's Go series because like Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee. Joe and I talked about this earlier today, but Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee was like a great entry series. Not a Pokemon podcast, by the way. Absolutely not a Pokemon podcast. It was such a good entry series for younger kids, and it was fun and refreshing for adults who played the game, especially if those of you who want to play with your kids. I keep fixing my hair because my hair is so fucking long right now. It was a great game. Like, you can't argue that it wasn't a great game, just because it didn't have as much, and the mechanics changed. But as a Pokemon game, to get the idea of Pokemon across the board to a younger audience who it was made for, it hit it. It nailed it on the head. It was a great game for its target audience. Fantastic. Like it introduced my kiddo to Sword and Shield, and now he wants to play. Now he's played. He beat Sword and Shield. He beat the unbeatable champion guy, and he's going on the DLC now. Like it did exactly what it needed to, and I hope we see another in the series. Maybe we have some more information about Pokemon Snap, which comes out at the end of April, which I'm very excited for. I know a lot of people are excited for it because we haven't had a Pokemon Snap game in 20 years. Not really 20 years, but it's been a while. See, it's been 20 years. It's been 22 years. 1999 was Pokemon Snap. Yeah, something like that. 1999 was Pokemon Snap. Now I gotta look. Pokemon Snap. I don't want Outriders Pokemon Snap. I just want Pokemon Snap. 99. Yep, I was right. So it's been 22 years. And a lot of people have been looking forward to a new Pokemon Snap game. We've talked about it on the podcast before, but I really hope they do some cool stuff with that. Like you could either control it with your or you could like do the look. Well, there's not a camera on Pokemon Snap. No, but they have a gyroscope, so they could do it that way. You could do it with a gyroscope. It doesn't have to have a camera like a 3DS. You could probably literally do it with the actual Switch where you do that. That'd be cool. It'd be really cool to do it on a phone. It'd be actually really cool to do Pokemon Snap on a phone. Now I think about it. Just add it to Pokemon Go. Add it to Pokemon Go. It'd be really cool. When they release Pokemon Snap, or when they release Pokemon Snap in April, release Pokemon Snap, and Pokemon Go is like a little side thing that you can do, and you can walk around and take pictures of your Pokemon that way. Instead of doing like the AR and then hitting the picture or whatever, just like do a little like on guided rails Pokemon Snap thing. Be neat. Might be harder than I'm thinking. Actually, probably is harder than I'm thinking, but oh well. It'd be pretty cool. And then like I said, we have Mass Effect coming out. So really in the state of play, there wasn't much. New Star Wars IP. What was it called? Hunters, right? Hunters. And then Sony dropped. What was it, yesterday or the day before? Maybe it was yesterday. Some other game, some other Star Wars game. It looked weird. What was it called though? Like Commanders? Was it Commanders? No, I don't think it was Commanders. Republic Commando. Republic Commando is the game they announced. What is Republic Commando? Let me read up because apparently this game has been lost for like. It's a remaster title. It's an HD title. It was launched in 2005. Oh, really? Oh, so it's a remaster, but it'll be coming out soon. Well, that's actually interesting information. I didn't know it was a remaster. I thought it was a brand new game. I'm a silly boy. Oh, well, I just learned something. What is it? Is it like a, is it a, oh, it's a shooter. It's like an action, it's like a story shooter game. Okay, well, that's cool. Oh, well, okay. Sure, more power to you, man. Getting those, yeah, why not? Yeah, nice. See, I burnt out on all the stuff that I want to talk about already. That's unfortunate. Damn, I hope Joe's computer is okay, because that's really, that kind of sucks. Something freaky happened, something freaky deaky happened there. He has a raid system, so I don't understand what's going on there. We haven't really been recording that long either, actually. I've only been recording for like 41 minutes. Yeah, I'm gonna play Mass Effect. I made a promise with Joe that I'll play Mass Effect for sure. Just ignore the fact that I also made a promise with Joe that I would play Xenoblade, which I did play Xenoblade. I just didn't finish Xenoblade. So, yeah, I'm gonna play Mass Effect. I think it'll be fun. Apparently, I need to play Final Fantasy VII because now they made a DLC with Yuffie. Spoilers. They made a DLC with Yuffie. Look, we got to chapter like 5 or whatever with Morag and stuff. What else? I'm trying to think of other stuff that's gonna come out, but I think that's really like those are like the big things that are coming out that I am interested in for the most part. I mean, a lot of stuff keeps getting delayed. It's just the nature of things. A lot of stuff just keeps getting delayed. I am peeved at the Nintendo Direct. They announced a physical copy of Hades on the Switch, so I could have bought a physical copy of Hades and had the cartridge. I don't like that a lot more than downloading it, but it is what it is. It'd have been nice to have an actual, like, physical copy of Hades, because that'd be very, very cool. Look at that steam, man. I'm trying to think what else. I mean, in the because we took a week off, so we've had 2 weeks since the last recorded episode. And on the like 2 weeks ago, yeah, we had the gigantic freeze that happened to everybody. Goodness, everybody else is okay, but you know, we had I've talked a little bit of this on stream before, but in the podcast format, where I live got down to negative 24 degrees last week, which was pretty cool. Pretty cool. No pun intended. It sucked. It was fucking cold. And then this week on Tuesday, our state saw 70 degrees, so we jumped. It was, I can't remember what it was, but like we went from negative 24 to 70, which is like a 90-degree jump. So we jumped like 90 degrees in a week. Like that's crazy. Like, thinking about that way, like in a graph format, if you looked at a graph of the week of temperatures, you would just literally see just boop, 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 boop. like, holy shit, that gives your brain such a different way to conceptualize what was actually happening there, is like how actual fucking cold it was. Because man, was it cold. It was ass. I mean, that's all it was. And then yeah, as we said, Joe moved. My new mic came in, this baby here. I'm probably tapping on it and fucking with it just to mess with you guys. And my new webcam, which is why this looks better now. All that came in. After paying $10 to have express shipping, it took 11 days for it to fucking show here. I don't understand. Like, the standard shipping was 2 to 10 business days. I paid the $10 for 3 to 5 business days, and it fucking came in 11 days. Thanks, Razer. I keep buying your products though, so I apparently don't care. Mouse, keyboard, microphone, webcam. My headset's Arc Steel or whatever it's called. Steel Series. I like the Steel Series. Wireless, really nice. Oh, and I got my drum set came in. I've been playing drums basically most any chance I get. I go downstairs and I play. It's like, it's such a good stress reliever. Like, just being able to like jam out and hit. It sounds weird, but like hit stuff like that. It's so cathartic and stress relieving, and like it's just so much fun, and it's a great workout. As I said, like I can look at my watch that I'm messing with right here. I can look and see. No, I don't want to change my phone settings. Not that shit. Speaking of, is my phone charged? 95%. That's pretty good. I can look and see how much was yesterday. As I said, it was like 12,000 steps or some shit, and it was just from like just playing the fucking drums, like basically all day. Because I figured out, hey, probably a good idea to like, you know, wear my watch when I play drums, because you're moving around a lot, and I'm left-handed, but I wear my watch on my left hand. You're not supposed to. You're supposed to wear it on your opposite hand, but I don't know. I just I prefer to wear it on my same hand, but I put it on my right hand because when you play the drums, typically your right hand is where your hi-hat is, and then also like when you're doing a crash rhythm, so your hi-hat is just a lot of hits. It's just a lot of da 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 da, and all your left hand does is usually hit the snare during those. So it's like da 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 da, you know. And then so when I have it on my right hand is moving a lot more. There's a lot more interaction because yeah, like drumming is like a whole body thing. You know, you have your left foot is on the hi-hat pedal, and then your right foot is on the drum pedal or the kick pedal, and then your right hand is hitting a hi-hat and moving over to a cymbal or a crash or a ride or whatever have you. And then you can move around the toms, but you can also move around the toms with your left hand, and you can do a lot of mix-ups and stuff. But a typical, like, as people think of the drums, a typical like beat is hi-hat and snare, and so you do a lot of this. Podcast content right here, baby. You do a lot of this, and so this gets you way more steps, and you're doing so much more movement. And then, not to count like all the fucking like pushing you're doing with your foot, you know, because you're doing all that. So it's fun. It's a good workout. I quite enjoyed it. I think after a week of like doing drumming at least for an hour, I'll see if I've dropped any weight at all. Because I've added a bunch of vegetables to my diet, and been trying to like just eat not necessarily eat like insanely better, but like eat just less. Like have the portion control to eat less and doing all that. So that's been alright, that's fine. No big deal. I'm vamping, baby. I'm vamping here. Then I got anyway. Oh yeah. I'm trying to eat better. So and with working out with the drums and such, and having more movement and eating a little better. Hopefully, I can drop some weight because quarantine has not been insanely kind. I've also been trying to like up the stream. I've been trying to get the stream out there more. I don't know how to do it. I've just been trying Twitter and that kind of stuff, and I go through and I retweet. I even retweet, other small streamers and such, and hope for this and that. Can have some interaction, have a community, but like it's difficult. I've been excited for games to play, but I haven't been. It sounds weird. Like I've been very excited for games to play, but I haven't been excited to stream just because, like, I love you guys. Don't get me wrong, but like, you guys are busy with your own lives, and so it just happens. Sometimes I turn the stream on and I'm streaming to nobody, and it's like, that took all of my want to play a video game and turned it into I just want to go play drums because at least I can get some frustrations out that way. So I don't know. It's just my own mindset. Some weeks are better than others. When you deal with mental illness and anxiety and such, like you just often think shit like that, and you're just not good enough or what have you. Now we're getting to the depressing part of the podcast. Welcome to it. Buckle up. You just have those thoughts. It just happens. You want more. You want more than you have, and even if you work for it, like you're just not. It's not coming, and that can be really rough. Like as I said, we've been doing this for like 5 years, and I've been stuck on 556 followers for 3 years. There's literally a clip in my clips that was from like 3 years ago, and it was saying celebrating 555 followers. So that's crazy. And like it's weird. Oh. Yeah, 3 years ago. Shit, yeah, I'm looking back. Like, we have clips from 4 years ago. We might have clips all the way back to 5 years ago. I mean, I don't stream niche games though. I've streamed big games. I streamed really big games. Yeah, 5 years ago. I mean, I've streamed some fairly big games and get nothing. I mean, it doesn't matter. Like, it's not necessarily about the game that you stream. Like, the game that you stream is helpful, but like we've streamed Genshin Impact for a ton of times, Persona 5 is not a niche game. Dragon Ball FighterZ was not a niche game. Apex Legends was not a niche game. Battlegrounds was not a niche game. It's hard to say. Actually, we had more people come in this stream from Rune Factory, which is a niche game, than I have from any other game. Which is kind of crazy. I don't know why I'm having this game up when I can actually just have the chibi art up and wait for Joe. So, I don't know, that's just me whining and complaining, but it's also something it's some vampy stuff to talk about. It's like I've been trying to really put more effort into growing the stream. I just don't know what else I could do. If that makes sense. So I'm all open for ideas. I mean, I guess I could go join subreddits for small streamers, which is probably a good idea. I could start doing the whole follow for follower and all that stuff. I mean, so then to that point, so for those who can't see chat, www.twitch.tv/Titus2172, give it a follow. To that point, then what is the, like, if a popular game doesn't market for streaming, like, what games do market for streaming? You know? Like, if your argument is, oh, those aren't necessarily streaming games, then my question is to you is, what kind of game is a streaming game? Is it, is it a game that has streamer interaction? Right, and so what's interesting is, the same niche games doesn't necessarily give you. We started on a niche game in America, not a niche game in Japan. It's a very big game in Japan. Is we started on Puzzles and Dragons. That's a niche game. Like that's a niche game. Maybe we should just go back to streaming that. Who even streams that game anymore? Who even streams Puzzles and Dragons anymore? Well, Mantastic's still streaming, but his streamer base has gone down a significant amount. He used to have a lot of people. Now he only has 29. I think a lot of people have, like, Pat has kind of died. Pat has died in America. It's still huge in Japan. I mean, the Marvel collab is happening in Japan right now, which, by the way, the Marvel collab is fucking insane. It's so good. It's so good. But yeah, he has a cool little setup and everything. Yeah, we probably won't get it, which is very sad because that sucks. But oh well, that's what it is, yeah. Shit happens. So it's interesting. So if anybody comes across this and knows how to, like, put the effort in to get bigger, like, please let me know, because I'm generally looking for advice, because it would be something nice to do. Just like Joe and I did this to do something for during quarantine and stuff, but I really enjoy it, and I put a lot of time. I can't put all my time into it. I work a 9 to 5. I have a house to take care of, a wife to cook for, dogs to take care of, a kid to care for. Like, I have a bunch of stuff. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm a very busy guy. I don't want this to be my job by any means. But when I put a lot of my hard work into this, and I invest my own money and what have you, like, I don't want to say I just turn on my stream and I expect people to be here. I don't, though. Like, I've put in the work. So if anybody knows any way to, like, really kind of reach out, let me know. because I want to know. I want to know what more I could do. So if anybody has advice, if you find this on YouTube, or if you find this in a VOD because you're bored and you're like, "Huh, that guy looks weird. I wanna see Weird Man go, ha ha, funny." Let me know. Follow me on Twitter. I'll just keep plugging, man. I don't give a shit. I'm very good at vamping when I talk about stuff that like I'm fairly passionate about, and so talking about stuff I'm passionate about makes it easier to vamp. Which makes sense, right? Like, you talk about things you're passionate about, and you tend to want to talk more about those things that you're passionate about. I like saying the word passion a lot. Passion. This is a very interesting episode that is going to be recorded and will still go up on YouTube. I mean, this will still be a thing. This will not... I am not taking this down. It will be out there. I will not be censored. True. I could probably agree that I'm not. Yeah. It's what it is, I guess. So, but yeah, Twitch chat or YouTube comments, wherever you find this. Tell me what you're playing right now. What game are you playing right now, and what's one game you look forward to playing? Because I can say one game I'm playing right now is I am playing Persona 5 Strikers, or Persona 5 Scramble. Oh, hey. Oh my god, he's alive. Holy shit.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes. Don't make any sudden movements.
Okay. All right. Well, I have returned.
That was an ordeal.
First and foremost,
That was a...
it appears the solution, and I texted our good friend Matt, who I have not spoken to in a while.
I haven't spoken
with
to him
text,
in a while either.
but I feel bad that my first text to him in quite a while is tech support. But the solution wound up being that I just unplugged and plugged back in the SATA connection between my SSD and my Mobo. The connection very possibly became loose when I moved my computer briefly to mess with the USB for the camera. And so reseating it seems to have worked.
Nice.
But I had to do some disassembly and reassembly to get access to everything.
Does your camera look better now?
Does it look better now?
Your camera doesn't seem as grainy.
I don't think it does. It looks the same to me, but also
I don't think it does.
I don't know.
I don't think it. I guess we'll find out. Anyway, what's up, buddy? It's been like an hour since I've seen you. How you doing, homie?
It's sure been something.
Hey man, I vamped my ass off.
So where were we?
Smash.
We were talking about Byleth, I believe.
We were talking about Smash. So we can go back.
I'm gonna finish off this drink.
Hard cut. Oh shit! I didn't even get alcohol. Fuck.
Dude, I'll go make more. This was already my second, but after this, I will go make more.
I should go get alcohol. We should
You should.
It's your turn to vamp for a hard second. If you can.
Okay, I'll vamp.
If you can disappear for a hard minute. I totally forgot. I was playing the demo, and then you said you'd be a minute, so I was like, all right, I'll do this boss thing in the demo, and then all of a sudden it was time.
Oh, you were doing Outsiders or Outlanders or whatever.
Outriders.
Outriders. Oh, sure. Okay.
Yeah, it's a little different. And I just totally forgot to go get booze. Holy shit! I usually save my really, really good rum for this, so I'll be right back. And it's Joe's turn to vamp. We're keeping this in the YouTube episode,
oh my god.
Which is gonna be fucking hilarious. It's literally just me. It's literally me just talking about video games as fast as I fucking can and then bitching about how we suck at streaming. that's the worst part episode.
Is I have to vamp about things I didn't even hear.
How about you give your take?
No, go. Don't make me... I'm already vamping. Go.
Give your take on the Byleth situation. Because I gave mine.
Okay, sure. I don't know what your take was, so I'm
It
not
was a bad
no
positioning. She
bias
deserves
here.
to be in the game. Bad position. Go.
Yeah, I think the Byleth problem could have been solved literally by just like rearranging the order in which the DLC released. I literally just think if they came out in a different order, it wouldn't have been a big deal. As the main character of the best-selling Fire Emblem game of all time, Byleth deserved to be in. I also feel like most of the previous Fire Emblem characters deserve to be in to a certain extent. So I guess going in order, you got Marth, he started it all, so Marth deserves to be in. It's a big series, Marth deserves to be in. All right, and then you've got Roy, and Roy, frankly, he is probably the least deserving to be in the series because his game didn't, like, it was fine. People like Roy, like, I get it. He's a lord, but like he wasn't that special, and whatever. But okay, he got in at Melee, so okay, fine. On the grounds that he was in the game at Melee, he deserves to be in later. Okay, sure. Then we've got Ike, who is distinct playstyle wise. Like, he still has a sword, but he's like a heavy hitter. He's just a different kind of swordy. So like Ike deserves to be in on that standpoint. Then you've got Robin, who Robin's great. Don't get me wrong. It was good for them to finally do a mage, but like he's not he's like the Avatar character. It's the first time, I think Awakening was the first time there was an Avatar. Like all the other games, they had lords. Like, here's your main character. This is Marth. Meet Marth. This is who you are. Whereas I think Robin was the first time you had any semblance of customization, except maybe Chris was male or female. So I don't know about that.
I don't know anything about the Fire Emblem games, so you're on your own.
I was just talking about like going through each of them and determining if they deserve to be in. And I think Roy is probably the least deserving, and he basically just is in because he got grandfathered in. I think he's really only in because he was in Melee.
Correct. I would agree.
Where
I don't think Roy really deserved to be in the game.
Because Ike is he plays fundamentally different, and
Big
Robin
sword,
is a
big sword.
mage.
Robin is a mage.
So that's totally new and different.
But I mean,
arguably, Corrin's half dragon or whatever. So like Corrin being a Manakee gives Fire Emblem. At the end of the day, Corrin plays very differently.
And
from
so
the rest of the other Fire Emblem too.
I'm actually kind of okay with like having take out Marth and Roy. Just have Lucina in the fucking game. Everybody likes Lucina.
Lucina is actually, I hadn't even got to Lucina. Lucina is the least deserving by a mile. She does not deserve to be in the game. Here's the deal.
Or just make Marth the Lucina character, and then because the Tipper thing is dumb. But
Marth is the franchise. Marth is like the face of the franchise. So he deserves to be in.
Lucina should have been what's her name? The girl with the green robe. Or the green
Azura?
No. The green Chinese sword looking lady. What's her name?
Lynn,
thank you.
Her. I would probably agree with that because I think the reason they gave us, because Robin and Lucina were in the same game, right? They both got pulled in Smash 4? Because Brawl was still just Martha, Roy, and Ike, right?
God, I want to say Lucina was 3, but I think you're right.
Because
I think Lucina is 4.
Lucina should have been Chrom. Lucina never should have been in the game.
Ike was the one added to Brawl, and then Lucina was in
4. Along with Robin. Now, again, Awakening, huge deal, revive the franchise. They deserved a lot of love, but Lucina she's
a clone, and it's terrible.
She's just a girl,
echo, and it's terrible.
Well, and even now, Chrom is an echo of Roy, but like Chrom, at least thematically, he makes sense. He's the Lord. He's the main character. People love Chrom.
I don't think
like he's.
In the game.
Here's the deal: Chrom or Lucina. It just should never have been Lucina.
I don't think it should have been Lucina either, to be fair. I think you had Marth and Roy. You let them in the game because they were from Brawl or from Melee. That's fine.
And they're echoes. And Ike is a heavy, and he's different.
Ike,
so
great.
sure.
Robin, different. Great. Corrin,
mage,
different.
yeah.
Great. even then, Byleth different would be fine.
Yeah,
And then
I really do think, like I said, it shouldn't have been. There shouldn't have been a question. Like Crom and Robin are the main characters. They're the main characters of Awakening. Lucina's important, but like honestly, she's not that incredible.
I don't think we need 3 characters that fundamentally play almost exactly the same.
I agree. At the very least, in Ultimate, they made Crom a Roy Echo and Lucina a Marth Echo.
And that's the thing is, like,
helps. It helps.
Crom is
not
an
like
Echo
a lot.
fighter in himself. I mean, he has moves from Ike. He has moves from Roy.
He's. I believe he's 100% Roy with Ike's upbeat.
Yeah.
I believe that's the only difference.
Yeah. Like.
Which is cool. That's actually neat because he's by far the most interesting Echo fighter. None of the others do that.
Yeah, but
every other Echo fighter is identical.
I still don't think he needed to be in the game. At the same time, whatever, he's in the game. But don't give me a DLC character that has it's a fucking goddamn.
If Lucina had been Crom, and then they announced Lucina,
that'd be really shitty.
That would have been very bad. People would very much have complained. Because if from day one, Crom. If Crom had gotten in instead of Lucina, and let's say Crom had been... because Smash 4 had... Oh, wait, Roy was DLC in Smash 4. Roy wasn't in the base game. They brought him back as DLC.
Did they? I thought
yes,
the DLC
they did.
Characters were Ryu...
Bayonetta, Cloud, Ryu...
Cloud...
Roy was one of them.
Is Roy one of them? You sure?
He was.
I thought Roy returned in Ultimate.
He was the first DLC.
Corrin's the other one.
I think 2 of the DLCs in Smash 4. I'm looking it up. I believe 2 of the DLCs in Smash Bros. 4 were...
Yeah, he was in Smash 4.
Fire Emblem.
That's fucking dumb. That's so dumb.
Yeah. Now, again, and here's the other problem, too. In Smash 4, Roy was the different one, right? Because Marth and Lucina were clones, right? Marth and Lucina were effectively clones. Which is fine. Which,
Marth still had Tipper, but yes.
Marth had Tipper, but
they're the same
Marth
thing.
and Lucina...
Same exact moveset, same exact everything else. They had just a different mechanic. Lucina's sword all the way does equal damage, where Tipper on Marth did more damage.
Right. And so, like, the idea of having clones, that's not new, right? Fox, Falco, Wolf, very subtle differences. So that wasn't weird. And then they brought back Roy and they made him different. So because Melee Roy was identical to Mars.
I think Wolf and the Star Fox boys played differently.
Wolf very. They made him way more distinct in Ultimate. In Smash 4, it was a lot less subtle.
And in Ultimate, they've also kind of made Falco a lot different too.
Yeah, like they really did make
Melee, Fox and Falco were the same fucking character.
Yeah, and in Brawl, Wolf was barely different. His blaster was different, and he obviously hit harder and moved slower.
Yes, and Brawl,
which admittedly, that does change things. I'll grant you that, but no. So I think the problem stems from how they treated the past games. I really do think that it all boils down to just that they put in Lucina instead of Crom. They pulled Roy out for a little while.
Then pulled him
because Marth and Roy were the same. Yeah, Marth and Roy were the same, and then Marth and Lucina were the same, and then they added Roy in and had to make Roy different, but not that different because they had to be true to It just should have been they could have solved all the problems if Crom had been in instead of Lucina, and if Crom wasn't an Echo. Echo didn't exist yet, but you know what I mean. If they had made Crom distinct at the time,
I'm more okay with that. If each one played individually, I'd be way more accepting of it. But each one is like I said, there's 3 to 4 characters that are exactly the fucking same. Exactly the same. I don't give a shit that we have anime sword boys in the game. As I was talking about before everything happens, there's a lot of characters there's a lot of video game characters that have swords. Get the fuck over it. We like fantasy, and fantasy usually has swords. Get over it. At the same time, they don't need to all be. We don't need to have 4 Fire Emblem characters that are essentially the same fucking character. Like,
Yeah. I agree. I think so other things they could have done instead of Lucina, it could have been Tiki, honestly. Tiki, if they had put in a full-on dragon, Corrin's a mannequin. So Corrin's at least like a half and half. There's some interesting stuff there. If instead of Lucina it had been Tiki, people probably would have
Dragon Lady?
complained less as well. Yeah.
Yeah, Tiki would have been
Because
great.
Tiki's also, for the record, Tiki is both in Marth's game and in Crom's game. She's literally just like 5,000 years older or whatever.
People have a thing for Tiki as well, which is weird.
I mean, she's cool. Like, so in Marth's game, Tiki is like a little girl who is scared and she has nightmares and she has to be protected. And like, so she's very much, and she's like, even though she's 500 years old or whatever, she's like, she's just like a straight up child. Like, she doesn't act like a. Noe is the one who's like, I'm 1,000.
I know where this
like
trope is going.
Well, that's Noe from Awakening. Noe is very much the I'm 1,000, but you can romance me even though I'm basically 13 or whatever. Whereas Tiki in Marth's game is like, I don't think that anyone could romance her at the time. She is a child, even though she's 500 years old or whatever. She very much is a child. Whereas, did you do the other gate, or did we just already do this one?
We did the other gate last time.
Okay. Yes. Okay. And then in Awakening, Tiki is several thousand years older, and she's like an adult who has sort of come into her own, and she's like not scared anymore. Blah blah blah. Right. And spoilers for a several years old Fire Emblem game. But Lucina,
Fire Emblem game.
Well, I wouldn't call Awakening niche, but Tiki basically, when Lucina goes back in time and meets the gang, right? She has a mask on and she wears her hair up and she takes on the mantle of Marth. Because they're actually in the same world. All the other Fire Emblem games are in different parallel whatever universes. They're not related. There's been a couple direct sequels. Hector, Eliwood, and Lynn, and then Roy and Lilina and Ninian. They were like direct sequels, right? One game, and then the other game was like several years later, and Roy is the child of Eliwood and stuff. And Marth had 2 games. And there's also this Fire Emblem Gaiden, the second game, is in the same world as Marth's stuff, but they're on a different continent, so it's like totally unrelated.
Okay.
Yeah, so there are a couple characters that are in both of the Shadow Dragon games, and then also in
Shadow Dragons.
Gaiden.
Playing Dragon Ball GT here?
It's Fire Emblem Mystery of the Emblem and Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon are the 2 Marth games. And there's Fire Emblem Gaiden. And Gaiden had the 3 Pegasus sisters, Pala, Katria, and
with his Pegasus kisses.
Pala, Katria, and who's the third one? Est. And they're in Gaiden / Echoes as well. And they make comments about the events of the other continent or whatever. Oh, and one guy from the other game, from Marth's games, shows up in Gaiden, except he has amnesia. He like washed up on the shore and has amnesia and doesn't know who he is, but like he's definitely this one guy.
Man, what I'm learning from like playing Rune Factory is that every single main character in Rune Factory gets amnesia. They get hit in the head and they get amnesia. Like, literally in the trailer of Rune Factory 5, it says, you're a main character who mysteriously lost their memories and got amnesia. Alright.
Yeah.
Alright. I guess that's a thing.
What made it interesting is he was like a mostly bad guy in the Marth games, but in Gaiden, because he lost his memory, he ends up being a good guy who's like, I feel like I need to atone for something and I don't know why kind of vibes. But he's ultimately a good guy in Gaiden / Echoes. But then there's Sacred Stones. That's unique. That's its own standalone game. Oh, then there's Genealogy of the Holy War and Jugdral. Why are we breaking
down all of the Fire Emblem games when we're talking about Smash?
Because the timeline is interesting.
Mm.
Anyways,
Look at that fat
bringing-
dragon bitch! Holy crap, I love him!
Gascon.
How do I get him? I want him.
Gascon's fun. But yeah, no, all of this is to say that the Fire Emblem games and the time, like, there shouldn't be 3 Awakening characters, full stop.
No.
But bringing in Robin as a mage was very cool.
That's fine.
And he's a tactician. He's got sword and magic. Great, fun, awesome way to do it.
Yeah, looks completely different, plays completely different, is a separate character.
Yes.
You cannot link any of the moves that they have to one of the other Fire Emblem characters. And the same thing with Corrin. You can't really accept. I mean, even the counter is different. Turns into dragon and smash.
Sure.
Like,
Yeah, the
Corrin's
counter
moves
is
are different.
Yeah.
Even for that matter, Byleth is different. Like Byleth is a different.
And for the
Fire Emblem
record,
character.
Fates was not received terribly well.
That's Corrin.
And Corrin is, yes.
Yeah.
And people don't like Corrin. Corrin is like the least liked protagonist of any Fire Emblem game.
That's so fucking funny.
Yeah. And also, Fates was trying to ride on the success of Awakening. And so I was explaining the timelines and how they're all in like parallel worlds or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Fates literally has, number one, it has several characters who are literally, it's like they reskinned the old character, right? They took a character from Awakening, they very slightly modified their looks, they put them in Fates and was like, this is a totally new person. Wink. But then in addition to that, they also...
It's like the fucking trope with old Final Fantasy games where you come across the same enemy, just a slightly different color and maybe like a third horn or some shit. It's like,
yeah,
they're different.
No, literally, there's you are aware of Tharja, right?
Yeah. She's
Tharja is
the dancer
creepy,
shit,
dark. She's not a ditch, but she's a desert chick.
Yeah.
She's got
several cosplayers have cosplayed her. I understand.
Yeah, so she's got long dark hair.
Mm-hmm.
She is in the game. She is obsessed with Robin. Like, regardless of gender, Tharja has a very creepy obsession with Robin.
Hot.
And is infatuated with them.
Hot.
And they're always talking about curses and hexes because they're a dark mage. Sure, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was Tharja. In Fates, there's Rajat, which is literally it's actually an acronym. THARJA and RHAJAT. So they're an anagram of each other.
Right.
And she is also a long, dark-haired, dark mage who is obsessed with Corrin, regardless of gender, and talks about curses and hexes, and is voiced by the same person.
But see, that to me seems like a game that is self-aware and understands the joke.
Okay. So they do that a couple of times. There's a couple characters like that.
Ooh,
And then the other thing they do is in the plot of Fates, they also literally have several of the Awakening characters show up via a portal, and they take on new names, but they have been summoned to this world to help save this other world. Not even kidding. So, Inigo, Owain, and Severa from Awakening, and they're some of the children characters, right? The ones that were kids of main characters.
Mm-hmm.
They are literally summoned into the Fates world. They take on new names in order to hide their identities for some reason. And then they become playable, recruitable characters. So Owain takes on the name Odin, but he is the same character. Fundamentally, through and through.
Anyway.
So, like, anyways, all I'm saying is that Fates was very problematic and didn't... Corrin playstyle, interesting and unique. Take that world, do.
Yeah.
But Corrin and Fates did not really deserve to be represented in Smash. Fates was not good enough to warrant that, in my opinion.
And I don't know, like, why every single why we had to have 2 DLC characters that are Fire Emblem. Like, why does Nintendo have such a hard-on for Fire Emblem when they have other IPs? Let's look at Xenoblade. We have 1 character, Shulk.
2! We have 2/3 characters!
Now we have 2/3 from Xenoblade, which they have a 3rd game, which We don't.
X, yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's like we don't.
And that one was out. Like that's the thing. They mentioned that Rex couldn't. I do think Sakurai is a big part of it. I think Sakurai personally
I
likes
think so,
Fire
too.
Emblem.
Yeah, I would agree with that, but that doesn't. I mean, come on.
I know, but yeah, Xenoblade. They complained. They were like, "Yeah, Xenoblade 2 wasn't out yet, so we couldn't put Rex in the game." But Xenoblade X was. Elma's a badass.
Yeah, like put you have an
Elma
IP,
should have been in.
You have an IP. You have an original IP with a JRPG that has a very niche but strong following. Sure, the
Yes.
audience is small, but the audience is very passionate about.
Well,
the
and
game.
you can bring more. Smash gets more audience in.
Yeah.
Smash brings people into the game.
So fucking just
People are gonna
just add 'em.
apparently sales of Xenoblade 2 have been through the roof in Japan after the announcement of Pyra and Mithra.
Once they saw that game had big titty anime ladies, yeah.
And Xenoblade X, admittedly, actually has a create your own character pro tag.
Yep.
A create your own character silent pro tag. Which is dumb.
Yeah.
But then it also has Elma, right? And Elma is a static character. She basically is the main character of the game, as effectively confirmed by Xenoblade 2's DLC, where she shows up as part of the in the same capacity that Shulk shows up in DLC in DLC in Xenoblade 2.
That just made me think of why Persona is not the most perfect game on the planet. Son of a bitch. All right, we're gonna get into this. I think Persona 5 is a 9.8 out of 10 game. And the reason Persona 5 would be a 10 out of 10 game is that, number one, you can choose to be a male or female Joker. Number two, you could you could romance all character options, and we're not tied to just the female characters.
I do think they
I can get through being the silent pro tag because you're supposed to place yourself in the protagonist. That's the point. And they say they have a couple voice lines. That's fine. I understand that. That's great. I have no problems with the game. I love the game. But just
if you're gonna have a character who is no one because it's supposed to be you, then
give me
just
more
make it. Then just give at least gender options.
Yeah, give me a male and female, and let me fuck whoever I want.
Yeah. I will admit, I think that Mimic. I think that more games could use specific, explicit representation of different sexualities in where they are canonically God damn it. We need more games where you have a main character that is canonically not just a white dude, right? A straight white dude. Full stop, I agree with that. But I also don't.
Yeah.
But I also think there is plenty of room for just what you do is you make your main character either male or female, and then you make every character just player sexual. Where I think how Mass Effect.
Fuck.
I think how Mass Effect and Dragon Age did it is really good because what they say is, or at least Dragon Age 2 is the one that did this, but a lot of the Mass Effect games and Dragon Age Inquisition, so they make it so that there are different options you can romance based on your character, fine. But then they actually make a point to pair up the other characters. So in Mass Effect, you are aware of Tali and Garrus, right? They're some of the main squad mates. We've talked about them.
Yeah, we've talked.
Garrus is the big lizard guy,
yeah.
and Tali is the one that has the helmet.
Yes.
So you can romance either one of them. They're both straight, but you can romance either one of them. But if you romance neither of them, they romance each other.
Hot.
Which is great. In the game, you will
fantastic.
see them. If you don't romance them, they will start flirting with each other, and that's a really, really cool way to do this.
That is pretty cool. I agree with that.
I am aware that yes, I have a lot of competition with Garrus and Rex. But no, and Dragon Age Inquisition did the same thing, and they also included in those side pairings. Inquisition also included several gay pairings, which was hilarious. One of them, one of the characters I personally can't stand, and I do not like her. and she is lesbian only. But if you don't romance her, she has a really, really cute crush and relationship with one of the other characters that you see in like the epilogue, and it's actually really, really cute.
And we've talked about this before, right? With BioWare stuff, where they were, 2008, 2009, 2000. Mass Effect 2006 or some shit. We looked this up a couple times ago. Like they were way ahead of their time in terms of actual having romance options. Sure, 2006, 2007 is when being really talking about and being open with and having making sure we have equal rights for people who are gay, or now what is the LGBTQ plus community. It was like that conversation was really taken off and was being in the forefront of things, and BioWare took a shot, and it was great. And it is
they did it both ways, right? They did Dragon Age 2 was you had 4 romance options, 2 male, 2 female, and you could romance any of them as anybody, and you could also romance all of them at once with no penalty. And they just said, you can romance any of them as either gender, and it'll just work. And one of them will make one comment about a past partner, but that's the only one. And I actually think he makes a comment about a male love interest. But, they just said, like, everybody is just player sexual. They're not going to talk about it unless you romance them, and then they become romantic. But otherwise, they'll just never make any comments like that.
And like with Persona 5, like I understand, and some other games too, where like they want to tell this narrative with this character. But yes. But then they give you a silent protagonist where you're supposed to place yourself as that character. Don't do that then. Like
correct. Yes, they don't work together.
With the anime of Persona 5, like Ren is his actual name. It's like he has dialogue, he has conversation, he has all this stuff. He has a voice actor. You can hear him talk when he calls on the personas and all that stuff. Like they gave him dialogue, they gave him lines, they gave him stuff. Like, don't give me a silent protagonist that I'm supposed to place myself in, but then say that I can't go fuck Yusuke or Ryuji or the cat. They just full stop. They just should have said, like, here. That's the thing. If you're gonna do a silent protagonist, then the player should get basically full control and full options, because it's supposed to be me. It's not supposed to be anybody else. I agree.
And then if we're telling a story about a specific character, I will support all
the decisions that are made. Everybody, that's fine.
Yes. If you're telling a specific story, I don't necessarily have to like the story. I can comment that some things maybe would have been better or worse or what have you. But at the end of the day, if you're telling a specific story, you get to tell that specific story.
Yeah,
that's how it goes.
Decisions that were made in terms of the story writer's perspective, and just respect it.
Right. Well, and that's the thing. You can respect the idea of creative intent, right? The idea that these people are going to create their own story to tell. At the same time, you can also criticize them and saying, how many stories about straight white guys are you going to tell?
Yeah, right back into it. Yeah, I agree.
You can absolutely say that you get creative intent, you get to make the decisions, but if you've now told the same love story 9 times, I don't give a shit anymore.
Yeah, you're not making a fun game anymore. You made Destiny Clone 8, we're done.
Yeah, well, and that's and that's true. Like, whether it's the gameplay is stale every time or your character design is stale. Oh, look, it's another tall white guy who's very fit and who has stubble and that whatever hairstyle. Like, okay, cool. You've made Nathan Drake for the 19th time. Good job.
Fuck you. Nathan Drake is a great character.
No, I know, but like my point there is like I am actually really glad that we're starting to see. I had the thought during the state of play today with that one game, what was it called, Remembrance or Remember More or whatever, the roguelike that they refused to say the word roguelike with the
Yeah. It's a lady who is
and it was like a middle-aged lady, and I was like,
yes, it was.
But she's the main character,
older lady,
and she's the main character of a runner gunner sci-fi shoot 'em up that's awesome. Like that's super cool.
Here for it.
And so I'm very
white lady, but yes.
Well, but like she's she's different. She's different enough.
We're making steps. We're making baby steps.
she's different enough. Like, I'm not saying you have to go straight from here's our 17th Nathan Drake character to now we've got a non-binary whatever like where you just start stringing on all the different things. Like, you don't have to immediately jump from one to the other.
Understandable.
And it's also not like, it's not bad. Like, they didn't do, it's not they like were taking it easy. They created a new character who's pretty cool. But I noticed that and I was like, that's actually a really cool main character for a game. This idea that we're going to relate to this middle-aged woman in this like sci-fi. It's very neat and interesting because, like, say what you want about other awesome characters in games like Aloy. We both really like Aloy.
Aloy's great.
At the end of the day, she's still basically just Nathan Drake, but a girl and with red hair. Like, she's a sassy. She is something. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's bi. She likes that one chick, but then she also likes Erend.
So, I mean,
and Erend is a little obsessed with other problems, but
like, they put it in there though. Is this thing? It's like,
yeah, and they made it like in a game where you actually have a lot of control. They did make it so that she will flirt with that character. Basically, as long as you do that dialogue and meet that character, they're gonna flirt.
Yeah.
And that's great, and that's fantastic.
And
then in TV, The Good Place.
Good Place is so good.
Eleanor is canonically bisexual, and they make that very clear through the entire story.
Yeah.
Right? She hits on everybody. So
I think
I'm glad we're getting that kind of
stuff. The Good
stuff.
Place is it's probably one of the best well-written TV shows of our time.
Especially season 1. Season 1 is is like the single best 12 episodes or whatever
ever.
Of TV. Like, it's up there. Yeah,
it's so good. Like, there's so much in this show that is incredible. It has insanely good writing. It has insanely good plot twists. It's very good comedy. The cast is insanely diverse. Like, it is a perfect show.
Yeah, and it's also, I think one of the other things that it does well is that it recognizes its own format.
Yeah. It's a little self-aware.
Well, it's self-aware, but it's like the fact that it's a primetime sitcom, so you're not allowed to swear. But then they write that into the show, right? Mm-hmm. Like, they make the characters aware of that, as opposed to just sort of ignoring it and pretending like it's not a thing.
Yeah, because newsflash, adults fucking curse. It's a thing.
Yeah. That's actually one of the things I would say that it's not cursing per se, but the show Scrubs did really well. Scrubs talked about, like, especially for early 2000s, they were making fart jokes before a lot of people were making fart jokes on primetime TV, and they were talking about sex and relationships in a much more explicit way than, like, Friends ever did, right? Which wasn't that much before that.
Friends does it a lot. I don't know when
Friends,
the last time you
Friends
watched
was,
Friends, but Friends does it a lot.
They do some, but I don't think there's as much, like...
Oh, it's a Griffin.
There's an entire episode about... there's an entire episode of Friends of Scrubs where it's just JD and Elliot, like, in bed having sex all day. Like, there's an entire episode where they're just, like, in bed all day. Jump into this fight. I'm gonna look up this guy's name and confirm whether or not he's recruitable. By the way, I'm just gonna knock that out. I think I know who this guy is.
This is a Griffin.
I think his name is Jamarus. Yeah, I don't think you can recruit him.
in actual. I have one of these guys in my.
He is not recruitable, so you just kick his ass.
Beat his ass.
Just beat his ass.
Now.
Jamarus is one of the ones he was one of the ones I wanted to catch and who I wanted to. I think this is the one where he makes an offhand comment about wanting sirloin, but then it doesn't matter if you feed him sirloin. You can never recruit him.
Dude, look at how much fucking MP the goddamn
Draco Lord has.
Holy
yeah.
Shit.
Your gold slime has a lot too, but that's sort of like his deal.
That's crazy.
Where is Jamarus? Is he considered a bird monster?
Probably.
No, he's a demon.
Oh shit, really?
Or a devil. And
damn, I have him on lock. my Gold Slime is licking him. My Draco Lord casts Ice Bolt, and then my Scent just smacks him in the face. He can't do shit. He's just gonna die.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go make, even though it's already like 9, I'm still gonna go make another small drink because we started late and I want to keep going now that we're finally working.
Yeah,
but I'll take my headset.
We can skip out on doing Zelda tonight and just continue the podcast because there's a lot of me just fucking just doing nothing.
Vamping? Yeah.
Doing a whole fucking lot of nothing. Which is fine, I guess. It's fine.
I mean, we can do... We could just do Zelda like sometime this. Now that I'm all set up, like we can.
I got the kid this weekend, so probably.
Oh, okay, fair enough. But I was gonna say I can stream more now. I need to work on getting Wind Waker set up. I'm gonna try to do that this weekend.
We're gonna do a Wind Waker randomizer sometime, and then
we do have
for those of you who are Raw Talking It constant viewers, we have the idea for what we're doing on our next game that we play when we do the next.
Apparently, I have to leave my headset. The kitchen is just barely too far away, so BRB.
No problem. So it'll be fun. I'm not going to tell you what it is, because it'll be a fun thing to do. Just because it'll be a neat switch up, and it'll be both of us playing, so we'll be able to see both views. We'll both be playing a game along with talking and all that stuff. So we're gonna figure that out. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. I think. I hope. Ooh. I'm glad Joe got his computer running though, because that was gonna be rough. That was gonna be very rough. I actually haven't checked stream just to make sure I can hear everything. Oh, I was also gonna say something to Michael. Michael, I was gonna say something to you, and I can't remember what it was. It was something related to a video. Oh, Project Triangle from Octopath. That was in the direct. Have you played it yet? It's Project Triangle is like the it seems like a spiritual successor to Final Fantasy Tactics. That's what it was. Made by the Octopath team. 25. Let's go. Level 9. Let's go.
Okay, I am back.
Welcome back, sir.
You beat the Jammerus, that's good.
Yeah.
I am very excited about our next series. I need to set some of that up this weekend too.
I literally just mentioned it as like, I'm not going to mention what it is, but it'll be a lot of fun for people.
Yeah.
It's
going to take some work, so hopefully we can
It's going to take a lot of work on AI end, so you fuckers better be appreciative.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding, I love all of you. Yeah, I'm interested. I should download the demo for the Project Triangle and see how it is, because it seems it's cool. Spiritual successor to Final Fantasy Tactics, fantastic idea.
Yeah, like I love the idea that they were like, okay, we did this HD 2D spirit of the classic JRPG model, and they said, okay, well let's do that again, except let's just change genres entirely, and let's do a tactical. Let's do a tactics game,
which is awesome.
With decision making and story impact, which is
I love it.
Yeah,
it's a great idea.
I fully agree. I've seen some stuff that from people playing the demo, and they say the demo is absolutely incredible, and they think that it will be possibly even more successful than Octopath was.
That's crazy.
Which, for the record, I was talking with a friend about this today, about Octopath versus Bravely, because I think it's the same team, Bravely Default. Though maybe not, I guess, since Bravely Default 2 is still needing to come out, but Bravely Default, obviously they were working on Project Triangle Strategy, which, God, they need to change that name. People didn't like Octopath. I think Octopath Traveler is a great name.
Octopath is a good name.
It rolls off the tongue. It's cool. They baked it into the character names. I think that's so cool.
Project Triangle Strategy does not sound good.
Well, it was Project Octopath Traveler. They dropped the project once it became final.
It'll just turn into Triangle Strategy. I mean,
yeah.
at the same time, it tells you what the game is. So fuck it, whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, but I thought it was interesting. They also dived into what like Divinity did with the whole terrain mechanics.
You haven't
in the
played-
trailer they talk about.
You still haven't played a Final Fantasy Tactics game, and you should.
Do they also have terrain mechanics as well? With different interactions.
Not as much as that game does, where it has shit can be on fire or whatever. So what they're doing is very Divinity-like, but like the terms of like having like super elevated stuff and like you have more chance to hit and bows and all that stuff, and then like you can hit an opponent in the back and do crit damage, and you can do like that is in Final Fantasy Tactics for sure.
Fire Emblem had terrain but not elevation.
Yes.
And then XCOM has elevation and cover, but like not much else. But then this game also adds in the like elemental interaction with the world around you, which is cool. As well as positional. Like this game seems to have it all, right?
Triangle strategy?
Yeah, it's got elevation mechanics, it's got terrain mechanics, it's got positional mechanics. It's got like all of it, which is a lot. It's going to be a lot to unpack.
It is a lot. But it keeps it interesting, right?
Yeah, and Michael, it was Bravely Default was called Bravely Default Flying Fairy. And in English they changed it to Bravely Default The Fairy Flies?
Oh shit, I think we do have to go beat a new...
A tournament, yeah.
We gotta go beat a new tournament.
Which should be really easy.
We'll see. We almost got our ass kicked last time.
Okay, yeah. In Japan, it was Bravely Default Flying Fairy. And in English, it was Bravely Default Where the Fairy Flies.
Oh, okay, that's not bad. It's a long name,
Which,
though.
to be clear... That subtitle is actually very relevant. And I can spoil something for it. Yes. I can spoil something minor. Well, it's a... No. Are you ever going to play Bravely Default 1?
No, I'm not. There's no fucking...
Okay. Okay, so here's what it is. And I guess if you're watching this now and you don't want spoilers... Take your headphones off, close your ears, run away, whatever. But you're going to think...
No, we need you. We need your view. Please stay.
Oh, yeah, come back.
Go take a pee break.
Anyways.
Pee break. Quickly.
Anyways, so Bravely Default, Flying
Our
Fairy...
fucking viewer count went down right as 70 went away. We went from 5 to 4.
God damn it. Bravely Default, Flying Fairy / Bravely Default, Where the Fairy Flies. In the game... you have a little sidekick character. Think of them as Paimon, right? Your Navi, your little extra character. And they're named Airy, A-I-R-Y. Now, Bravely Default is a game full of characters with pun names, right? We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
All of them have silly names. So the idea of a fairy named Airy is like, okay, cool. That's whatever. That's no big deal. After you get to a certain point in the game, you start to have some things where you are beginning to maybe not trust the character Airy, where you think that maybe they're not telling you the whole truth, even though they've been with you the whole journey. And when you boot up the game, where it has your title screen, right? It says Bravely Default, Flying Fairy, right?
Where the fairy flies.
When you boot up the game after that point, it'll bring up the title card, and then it'll drop the text, so it says Bravely Default, Airy Lies.
Oh, I like games that do that.
And Bravely Second did the same thing.
I really like games
kind
that
of.
do that. I think that's very fun.
Bravely Second has a climax involving SP, which is a type of... You've got AP for action points, MP for mana, BP is another type of thing. BP is your action points. But then you have SP, and SP is for when you do the Bravely Second. Bravely Second is where you pause time in the middle of combat and you can take extra actions. Like you can pause a battle at literally any point in time. The mechanic was in the first one.
Maybe that's what I didn't like about it. It was like there were so many points. I was like,
It is
so
a lot.
much.
But Bravely Second, the game, utilizes the Bravely Second mechanic. It's actually key to the story. There's a couple points in the story progression where it's necessary.
Mm-hmm.
But Bravely Second's subtitle was End Layer. Bravely Second End Layer.
Dude, your camera keeps
And
trying to like autofocus. It's freaking me out.
I know. I'm gonna do this and see if I can make it stick for a second. But Bravely Second, at the climax of the game, will take the there's a point where the game makes you, it breaks the fourth wall and it makes you think that you're going to delete your own game file.
Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
It's very mean. You're like, what? And you're like pressing buttons, and it's like, and every time you press any button, it like moves the cursor and is like selecting menu things for you, even though you're like in the middle of combat and shit. Anyways, but then the characters themselves break out of the screen, and they're like, "We need some SP. We need to borrow it," and it becomes Bravely Second Send Player.
Huh. That's kind of
Because they're talking to you, the player of the game, to help them save the day. But anyways, Bravely Default 2 apparently does not have a subtitle, and people are very confused about that because it was so critical to Bravely Default and Bravely Second. So people are a little bummed that there's going to be no shenanigans, it seems.
I mean, you know of. Or they're keeping
That we know of.
Or they're keeping it hidden.
Absolutely possible. That said, all the reviews that I saw said that the story was unimaginative, and I definitely... There's problems with the first games, but I wouldn't say that their stories are unimaginative at all. So, the reviews make me think that maybe there is less fun taken, less liberties taken with the story.
From a series that has already done that, that sucks that that's the case. Because
if that's true, if it's true.
Yeah, true. If it's true. We might be in a long fight because Dracolord is not doing that much damage at the moment. We'll see.
He doesn't hit. None of his spells have upgraded, and it seems like he has a really long experience curve.
Yeah, so does Gold Slime, sadly. I don't know. We're beating A. The one that's next is S, and it takes 10,000 gold to do.
I believe when you beat S, you beat the game. I think that's it.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe we might be done sooner than later and not go full ham on the game, just to get to the next thing. Because we've been playing this for 13 episodes. We'll probably make it 14 by next week.
If we actually just focused on story, we would have it done next week, for sure.
Maybe probably have to level grind a little bit.
Because I think there are
We have
story dungeons.
4 gates still left, and these gates are taking a while now.
That's actually one hell of a team there.
Yeah, Grizzly and this fucking Lionex dude. I don't even know who that is.
Well, you poisoned them all.
Yeah, slime poisons them all.
Oh god. I hope they heal each other, or you're dying. Actually, I think you're just gonna lose.
I'm gonna lose.
Gold Slime might have a revive skill, actually.
I don't think it matters. I think I'm not gonna be able to survive at the time that it'll take to do so. Yep, not gonna matter. So yeah, we're losing anyway. So we're at a point where I have to like literally just sit here and level grind until I can like actually kill that team.
Just go to the last gate that we did.
Yeah, and that's a lot. Like that's just to do on the stream all the time is all we're doing. I think it's rough. I mean, I know like the game isn't the focus, but it just gets like it's very tedious.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So I'm actually just gonna save this and actually kind of be done with it for now. I'm gonna go ahead and put up.
Oh, are you wanting to just go ahead and switch to Zelda anyways?
No, we won't switch to Zelda. We'll just sit here and chill and chat after that.
Just go in a random gate and walk in a circle and just hit the fight button.
I think what I'll do is I'll figure out how to do an emulator speed up, and on a day where I'm
probably just a button, yeah.
Where I'm just like sitting and chilling and don't have anything to do, I'll take like 30 minutes with a sped up emulator, and just like fucking go. I'll just I'll just go. Oh, let's have a focus.
We're both focusing. We both need to turn off autofocus. But yeah, that works too.
The light helps though. Like for some reason, more light helps with autofocus.
And with our next series, we can make some adjustments to hopefully minimize the amount of grinding that we'll have to do.
Yeah. But even then, it'll be fun because we'll have some things pop up that are more fun.
True.
It'll be more enjoyable. I think. I hope. I believe. I don't know. I don't know.
You shut off the game. I don't know what to do now.
Man, everyone is fucking playing that Valheim game. It seems cool.
Yeah, my husband's been playing it.
I don't want to buy it, but man, it seems cool.
It does seem like a lot of fun.
It seems so neat. Like, oh, everybody's playing it. I don't want to be part of the hype, but I kind of want to be part of the hype. It's only $20 too, which is actually kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's a very reasonable price. I don't see any reason not to get it if we're gonna play it.
Yeah.
Oh, here's what we can talk about.
Hit me.
So we have a weekly date night at home,
Okay.
and we have recently been. So we watched all the Star Wars movies again.
Oh no, we're not going down this route, are we?
We're not going not that route, but that we did that. That was a project, and after 9 or 10 weeks or whatever, I think we skipped one a date night or whatever. We watched all the mainline Star Wars movies.
Okay.
And then due to the podcast we were listening to, which you are now listening to, they kept making references to a bunch of different Nick Cage movies.
Oh yes, I've heard of one
and
so far.
And so we watched
one of the episodes I listened to The Cage, right? Or
The Rock?
The Rock. They mentioned that movie.
Yes.
And in the podcast I was listening to, I was like, oh shit, this is where he got it from.
So, well, I had seen The Rock a long time ago, and for the record, unironically, great action movie. I love it. But we decided when I realized my husband hadn't seen The Rock, I was like, oh, The Rock is actually, unironically, it's a great action movie. And then like the next episode, they reference Con Air, which is another Nick Cage action movie. And my husband had also not seen that one.
We're gonna take a brief break here to plug a show that we're not even sponsored. Just fucking listen to this. Dungeons and Daddies. Listen to it. It's done by the YouTube god Freddie Wong. If you don't know who Freddie Wong is, you're either too young or you just never were on YouTube.
Freddie Wong, then Anthony Birch.
It's incredible.
It is so good.
It is a podcast that makes me literally laugh out loud like a crazy person to myself with my headphones on. It's so fucking funny. Listen to Dungeons and Daddies, not a BDSM podcast.
Yes.
Go on.
But after we realized that Jaden hadn't seen those movies, we were like, okay, well, we were like, oh, well, that's our next date night movies. We'll watch The Rock, and then we'll watch Con Air. Mm-hmm. And then I swear to God, 3 episodes later, they started referencing a different Nick Cage movie called Face Off, which Amazon, after watching The Rock and watching Con Air, kept recommending to us because it's on Amazon Prime.
Got it.
And so we were like, and neither of us, I hadn't even seen that one. I literally knew nothing about that movie.
Was it bad?
Okay, so we've got The Rock. Unironically good action movie. It's legit. It's Michael Bay.
Oh shit.
And it's like from the early 2000s, late 90s. Yeah. And it's actually really, really good.
When was the first Transformers? We'll go back to that. Keep going.
And then there was Con Air, which is, it has its moments, but like it's not the like, oh, it's terrible and we like laughing at it, but it's definitely in the like bad but good, like an ugly baby, right? Where like
yeah,
yeah,
that works.
yeah. Yeah,
bad but good. That's the way to
yeah.
put it.
And then we watched, and then Face Off was the other one. Face Off is it's just bad. Like it was fun. I mean I get it, I guess, but it was also like it's also the most gruesome at times. I did not so Face Off. Okay. So The Rock is Nick Cage and Sean Connery breaking into Alcatraz prison to stop some terrorists that are going to shoot nerve gas at San Francisco.
Makes sense.
It's actually very good because the terrorists are actually like ex-military who are tired of uh, military deaths and military spending. So it's like actually interesting bad guys
That is actually
for back in the early 2000s, and it was Ed Harris is the other leading role. You would recognize Ed Harris if you don't. Con Air is God, Con Air. Con Air is Nick Cage is a man who, while he was defending his wife, he's like a military man who was defending his wife in a bar dispute from like a guy who's trying to rape his wife or something, but accidentally kills the guy and winds up in prison for a long time. And then on the day he's to be released from prison, he has to catch a plane to fly back home, except they put him on the plane with a bunch of super criminals who end up hijacking the plane. And so he's like the good guy in the midst of the bad guys who just wants to get home to see his wife and daughter or whatever. That one has a lot of big names. It's got Nick Cage. It's got John Malkovich. It's got Steve Buscemi. It's got the guy who plays Machete. It's got
okay.
A few others. Anyways, that's that one. And then Face Off. Okay, Face Off is Nick Cage versus John Travolta. All right. John Travolta, in the very first 5 minutes of the movie, Nick Cage is a terrorist, and he is attempting to assassinate John Travolta. But he accidentally kills John Travolta's young child, leaving John Travolta alive.
All right.
Like they're on a merry-go-round, and he shoots John Travolta, but he like misses the heart, but the bullet goes through and kills the kid. This is a more gruesome movie. Anyways, cut to several years later. John Travolta wants revenge on the evil Nick Cage, the terrorist who killed his son, and his marriage is suffering, and his home life is terrible, but he just wants revenge. And they finally catch the guy, and there's a big fight sequence, whatever. They catch the guy. They catch Nick Cage, and he basically dies. He basically dies in this interaction. But then Nick Cage has a brother, and there's a bomb, and they have to find the bomb, and so they have to talk to the brother, but the brother won't talk. But what if they could surgically...
That sounds really bad.
What if they could surgically take off and put Nick Cage on John Travolta's body, and then John Travolta can then go talk to the brother in the super prison, and then whatever. Except then, while he's in the prison, Nick Cage wakes up, except he doesn't have a face. But then he kidnaps the surgeon and makes them put John Travolta's face on Nick Cage. And so then now they're body swapped, and they have to get back to their bodies.
God, that sounds bad.
It's very bad.
That sounds very bad.
There's an entire scene where Nick Cage talks to somebody, and the camera is constantly behind him because he has no face the entire time. It's literally removed from his body, and he's like talking to somebody while it's very gruesome. But anyways, Dungeons and Daddies made some Face Off references, and so we felt like we had to watch that one too. So where this all comes in then is I need more classic
90s movies?
Like 90s, early 2000s action movies. Because last night we watched... I have seen Air Force One, but my husband probably is not.
It's Harrison Ford.
So on Tuesday we watched...
Action movie.
So one of my favorite action movies is called Broken Arrow. No, I'm good. Air Force One is a good recommendation. We watched two action movies, right? We watched Broken Arrow. Now, my dad made me watch Broken Arrow as a kid. It is I think it's unironically a good action movie.
Mm-hmm.
It features John Travolta versus Christian Slater. And John Travolta basically tries to steal a nuke, and Christian Slater, they're both like stealth fighter pilots. And John Travolta tries to steal a nuke, and Christian Slater is the co-pilot, but he's good. And they crash land in a national park. And so it's Christian Slater and this like lady park ranger versus John Travolta and all his like military guys trying to steal nuclear weapons in a national park. And
I don't think I've ever seen this movie.
it is genuinely, not kidding. It is I think it's really good. I disagree with all the online ratings. I think it's actually a legit good action movie because it's all about, it is literally, the whole thing is that it's like it's all like tactics. And so they're always trying to outsmart each other as opposed to just outgunning and out exploding the other guys. They're constantly trying to outsmart each other. And I think that that's fun. And that's a John Woo film, who's another action film director.
I recognize that name.
Genuinely, date night, watch Broken Arrow. It's free on Amazon Prime. Free without ads. You can just watch it.
So, one of the reasons I was laughing while you were talking about it was not at you. Was I was scrolling through the talk shows and podcast genre. As I said, trying to just look through all their small streamers and stuff. Maybe form a community. Maybe we can collab or whatever. Whatever happens. And one of the fucking podcasts I scroll over, the title is "This is not a Pokemon podcast," and I fucking lost my shit. I thought it was hilarious. I was like, "All right, we've been there." So I have them up. They have 3 or 4 viewers in their stream, what have you. I'll probably raid
That's
them.
funny.
I'll probably raid them at the end here just to give them some more stuff or whatever. And they also film on Thursday. I'm like, collab? Because yes, we too.
We'll play Pokemon, and then we can make them play Dragon Warrior Monsters. There you go.
It's funny. It's like it's good to do this kind of stuff because it's nice to see some stuff. I'm actually gonna go ahead and give it a follow just because.
I'm now trying to think. You said you have Logan this weekend. I'm trying to think. Is Broken Arrow?
Probably not. We're watching Dr. Stone right now.
Well, I'm trying to think about like.
Logan
it's not gruesome. It's not gruesome. There's some language, but it's not actually sexual either. There's no like. A couple people get shot or whatever, but like, trying to think of when I watched it. Anyways.
Oh, one thing we could discuss is Spider-Man 3 got its title.
Probably, because they got a lot of fake titles first.
This was an official trailer.
I know, but Tom Holland apparently there was a whole thing where Tom Holland, Zendaya, and then the other guy, they were all told different titles for what the name of the movie was going to be.
Yes.
And they all released them, and they were all different.
They have an official trailer with the title. And
and I watched that, but like...
It is the official title. It's been confirmed.
Which makes it sound really interesting. The title definitely...
I like it.
Opens some questions.
I like it. I think it's pretty cool. I think it's a cool idea. I love Spider-Man, though. Like, Spider-Man's great. Iron Man, Spider-Man...
Well, you've heard about the casting of the movie, right?
Yeah, I'm very concerned and excited at the same time.
It's gonna be. I think it'll be great.
I think it'll be great. If it can pull it off, I think it'll be great.
Yeah.
If they can pull it off, might pull a Spider-Verse on us.
What? Okay, but no. Okay, no. I need more. I need more action movies though, because so we watched that, and then we watched Speed, and in both movies last night, good. I was convinced that my husband had seen them, and he was like, "I do not know." He's like, "You
want another Nick Cage action movie?"
Well, hold on. Both times he was like, "You're describing this movie," and I'm like, "I have no idea what you mean." We started Broken Arrow, and 30 seconds in, he's like, "Oh, I remember it now," and he remembered the entire movie. Mm-hmm. And then we watched Speed, and he's like, "You've told me about this, but I don't think I've seen it." 30 seconds in, during the opening credits, he's like, "Oh, I remember it now," and we had even paid for that one.
Gone in 60 Seconds is another good Nick Cage one.
I have seen that one once, maybe.
Good movie.
It's been a while.
Fast and the Furious is also another good, like, ridiculous, like, action, racing,
fucking insane
shit going on in the 1999, 2001, something like that.
The other Nick
pretty good.
Cage movie I knew I'd seen that was Next, which was not good at all. Next was like Nick Cage can see like
Yeah.
5 seconds into the future.
I've seen it too. It's not good.
It is
I saw
not
that
good.
in theaters with my grandma.
Ooh. Oh god.
It was
Um
bad. It was really bad.
Next, and then
Bro, let's
the
go.
one
I googled action movies in the 90s, got fucking Dragon Ball Z Cooler's Revenge. Let's go.
the one I want to watch
Armageddon?
next is called Volcano
Volcano's great. It's the LA
with Tommy
one.
Lee Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen
I
Dante's
think
Peak
that's
as well?
I don't think I've seen Dante's Peak. That's Pierce Brosnan, right?
Yeah, another really great 90s natural disaster movie that's like
Because the one
blown out
Pierce
of
Brosnan
proportion.
also was in Deep Impact, which is a meteor movie, which came out a little after Armageddon, but was way worse. Armageddon also wonderful.
You got Independence Day, the original one.
He's
Fantastic
seen
movie.
that one for
God,
sure, and
fucking-
that is unironically probably maybe the single best action movie ever made. And like, I'm not even joking about that.
It's so good.
Did I ever tell you about the guy I worked with who was a British guy who was like, Independence Day is my favorite movie?
It's so good though. Like
Yeah, it is
it's
very,
such a
very good.
movie.
Independence Day and Men in Black. Like,
Men in Black's good.
Men in Black. Oh my god.
Men in Black's very good. Very
Cannot go wrong.
Yeah, so my suggestions would absolutely be Rush Hour's made in the 90s, 98. Holy shit.
Oh god, I haven't seen Rush Hour in ages. I do like Shanghai Noon and Shanghai Nights.
I love the Rush Hour movies. Yeah, Air Force One, really good. Have you seen True Lies?
Oh my god, I made Jaden watch that in the first year we were dating.
Okay,
True Lies, my
is
dad
a
made me watch.
fantastic movie.
It is amazing.
The bedroom scene and shit where it has
my favorite scene is the
Armageddon's good too.
my favorite True Lies scene.
Total Recall is another one. That's another 90s movie.
God, I've seen that. That's another one I've seen once or twice, but they remade that one. I've seen the remake too.
Of course, Fifth Element.
Yeah, Fifth Element is another one I also made Jaden watch. He had seen some movies, but not a ton. Jaden has also educated me on a few scary movies.
I don't like
because I was never a horror fan.
I don't like scary movies.
Here's the one I'll recommend. Here's the one I'll recommend. You actually need to watch Scream.
I've seen Scream.
Scream's actually good.
I don't consider
it's like a slasher, but it's satire.
It's like a slasher thriller with some definite satire thrown in there.
Yeah.
I don't consider that like a pure horror movie, like Halloween and
yes,
Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th.
Well, and I was going to mention Nightmare on Elm Street we watched last year, so I think we were both invited to this by a friend.
Yeah. Yes.
I went and watched it, and you know what? It was goofy.
It's goofy
but
now.
Nightmare on Elm Street, I see why people liked it. It was actually like kind of silly and fun, and it definitely was surprising. I'm sure at the time that was kind of there was some gruesome stuff. It's not like insane, but there's some gruesome moments in it.
Yeah.
But it definitely, I was surprised. With a little bit of warning about some of the more gruesome moments. Yeah, I was totally fine going into it. What else? What are some other good?
So you have Total Recall. You have Air Force One.
Fight Club. Air Force One. Fight Club's not. It's not silly enough.
You have
Air Force One is good.
And you do have Rush Hour. Rush Hour is fantastic. And I'm sure it's probably been a long time since I've seen it. So those are great.
For sure it has. I couldn't tell you jack about the plot.
Push a goddamn button.
Chris Tucker is just a national treasure. Wait, Rush Hour is Chris Tucker, right? Yeah. Okay. Have you seen? Here's a movie for it. Have you seen Dogma?
That's the one with Snape. What's his name?
Alan Rickman. Yes, he is in it.
Yes, I've seen the movie.
And Brad Pitt and Ben Affleck.
Yes, I've seen it.
Dogma's good. That is
very good.
It is. That was one that my mother loved.
It's good. I actually watched it on Comedy Central, so I don't know if I've actually seen it like uncensored.
Without like because it's yeah, they definitely
No, no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I've seen it on Comedy Central at late night where they get the pass
Oh,
to do
sure.
because that's also how I watched the South Park movie is because they could do it like
Mm.
after a certain time because kids go to bed or whatever, and then they can do whatever the fuck you want.
Dogma
So it's
is
fun. Dogma's good.
Dogma's like fucked up. It's so good though.
Dogma's
It's
good.
so good.
Dogma's good.
Especially because it was made by Kevin Smith,
Yeah,
who is himself
Clerks,
devoutly Catholic.
Clerks,
Like
and
Idiocracy.
Idiocracy and Jay and Silent Bob.
Bill Jim and Silent Bob. I was gonna say
Yeah,
Bill and Ted, but
not Bill
that's
and Ted.
different.
Jay and Silent Bob.
I did make my husband watch Bill and Ted.
Good movie.
You know what? Actually, we haven't seen that. We should watch next week. My husband somehow has not seen Doctor Horrible.
Has he seen The Matrix?
I think he's seen The Matrix.
Because the first one is really good.
I'm gonna message him and say I'm pretty sure he's seen it. Well, I actually own the first 3 Matrixes on Blu-ray, and I still haven't seen the third one.
Don't.
I am almost positive he has.
Some say dry nose, feel the pain, chocolate rain.
You've seen all 3? Okay, he's seen all 3. I haven't
Mother-
seen the third, so he's doing better than me. There's also of course Die Hard.
That's great. I don't know if Kitty has seen me this up close because usually the camera is like way over here, and so like you can see, I can see. Like, sorry, I'm getting a little weird.
I've
It's like
seen
9
all
forever.
5 Die Hards. Is there a Die Hard 6 now?
I think so, actually.
I
actually think there's 6 now.
I know I've seen the first 5 because I own the first 4 on Blu-ray, and I saw the 5th one. Oh, Tremors, also classic.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, there's 5. I thought that was
Okay,
6.
I've seen them all. 5 was not good. 4 was still actually pretty fun.
Oh,
2 was.
What's the shit? There's a comedy action movie about.
Die Hard 4, Michael, is actually pretty fun because it's all like hackers and shit, and so John McClane doesn't really know how to deal with it, and his like sidekick is Justin Long, who's like a young kid who like knows about hacking and whatever, and so that's the premise. And then it's also got what's her name as his daughter as an adult.
Yeah. So,
I mentioned Tremors.
hold on, I'm looking.
You've seen Tremors, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we watched Tremors at the house.
Okay. I would say you're not reacting to it, so I'm like, you've seen Tremors, right? You need to have seen
I
Tremors.
I think Tremors is fantastic.
That's another one where it's like it was definitely not trying to be an actually good movie, but then like it was.
I watched this movie in college, and I cannot remember it for the goddamn life of me. But it's about. I thought it had what's his name? Die Hard boy.
Bruce Willis?
Yes.
Sixth Sense.
No.
Unbreakable.
Not the one that they fucking ruined in the goddamn trailer. They ruined that movie in the trailer.
Maybe nowadays. I'm sure at the time
No,
they didn't actually.
In the trailer, they do ruin the movie. The kid says
for Sixth Sense.
Yeah, the kid says I see dead people in the fucking in the trailer.
Well, but they don't ruin the main twist.
Yeah, you can kind of.
You've seen Signs, right?
Oh God, yes. Signs is good.
Signs is amazing.
Signs is fair.
Have you seen the less well received M. Night Shyamalan movies of Unbreakable or the Village?
I've heard of The Village. I have not seen it though.
It is less good. It's more confusing.
Wait, is this it? No, it's not this. It's not. No. Fuck. God damn it. God, I'm gonna find out what this is because I don't even know if I can remember how to tell you about what it is.
Bruce Willis movies? I'm just gonna look up Bruce Willis on IMDb.
It might not even be Bruce Willis. I don't even know. I thought it was him. But I could be absolutely wrong. like some
Wow, Die Hard was one of Bruce Willis's like earlier movies.
12 Monkeys. Have you ever seen that one? That's a
Oh,
Bruce Willis
12
movie. That movie's
Monkeys.
fucking
Yes, I
crazy.
have.
Time travel movie. It's fucking,
Bruce Willis and Brad Pitt in a time travel movie? Yes, I've seen it.
it's
I
good.
actually didn't see it until quite a while later, but yes,
I
I
saw
have
when I
seen
was
12
fairly
Monkeys.
young, and it was insane.
It's wild. It's
and
a
then
good.
I
What are some other
rewatched it
good?
again, and I was like, oh shit.
What are some good time travel movies?
Memento.
I actually have not seen Memento, and I need to because it's famous.
It's very...
Let's see. There's
Wait, is that it? The whole 9 yards?
well, yeah, I've seen the whole 9 yards. I made Jaden watch that one
It's a
too.
2000 movie.
Yeah, Matthew Perry and Bruce Willis is an assassin.
Yes, that's it. Whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah,
That
the whole 9 yards is
That
great.
movie's fantastic.
It's fucking wild.
So
Fucking wild.
so fucking good.
Groundhog Day is absolutely a time travel movie.
It is a time travel movie. Yeah,
It's not your normal time travel movie, but it totally is. Did you ever see? This isn't time travel. I mean, I guess okay. If we're talking Bruce Willis and time travel, we do have to briefly mention Looper. You saw Looper, right? Really?
Nope.
The one where Joseph Gordon-Levitt plays young Bruce Willis? Joseph Gordon-Levitt plays an assassin.
I do love GGL though. He's great.
JGL?
JGL?
Yeah. He plays an assassin that works for the mob, and in the future, the mob has discovered time travel. And when they need to assassinate somebody, they send them to the past, and the assassin kills the person. And they come back with the money taped to their body, and their contract ends when the person shows up and they kill somebody, and then they find out that it's actually themselves that they just killed from the future. Except Bruce Willis gets sent back, and he gets away. And so Joseph Gordon-Levitt is trying to chase around his older self to assassinate his older self. But then shit goes down.
Oh, that sounds pretty good.
And also there's some mild superpowers involved.
Bruce Willis was so good from like 1990 to 2005.
Looper came out in 2012.
You want like another good like 90s-ish movie that is kind of like thriller crime? Bone Collector is pretty good. Denzel Washington and Angelina Jolie.
I don't know it.
Very thriller, crime-based.
I just remembered that Mr. and Mrs. Smith exists.
Yes, that's Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie.
Yep. Sorry. No, the biggest problem with Looper is that they made Joseph Gordon-Levitt look like Bruce Willis with like prosthetics and CGI.
That's probably not good.
It's okay. The best part of the movie, though, is there's a scene where Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Bruce Willis are talking, right? And Bruce Willis is the future self of Joseph Gordon-Levitt. And the movie kind of plays fast with paradoxes. And they're literally trying to figure something out. And then Bruce Willis is like, okay, you know what? We could be here all day drawing diagrams, but what does it matter? And they basically just ignore the whole paradoxical part by having the characters attempt to address it and then just decide not to. And so the rest of the movie, you just kind of assume that, like, well, whatever. They didn't try to figure it out because the movie, it tackles some of those issues. There's some issues about, like, if you change something in the past, it modifies the future, including the future self that comes from the past.
Yeah. You got a bunch of different time travel theories and such.
But they basically have a couple of characters directly just be like, I don't know. This is all too confusing.
It's too dumb, man.
It's too confusing. And so then for the rest of the movie, you just don't have to think about it too hard because the characters chose not to think about it too hard.
You do have Butterfly Effect with Ashton Kutcher.
I haven't actually seen that one, but I am aware of it. And unfortunately, I think due to Reddit, I am aware of like sort of the main twists and the director's cut version and all that jazz.
We've been
Um,
going for 2.5 hours. It's almost a 2.5 hour long recording. We're gonna have to
who
end.
cares? Ooh,
Me, I
actually,
gotta
you know
go
what?
walk my dogs.
You know what a good time travel movie is that you should watch?
What now?
That you can watch with your wife?
What?
About Time.
Oh God.
It is a rom-com.
Okay, that's much better.
What?
That's much better. Much more her speed.
It is a time travel rom-com.
Okay, I'm for it.
And it is it's weird, but you should watch. It's on Netflix. You can watch it. It is. You could probably your wife might be a little confused at times because it is a little weird, but it is fun. The other one is, have you actually watched The Girl Who Leapt Through Time?
No.
That is an anime movie.
I still need to watch Your Name, dude. I haven't even watched that. It's one of the best anime movies of all time.
I didn't know you. I thought you watched Your Name.
No, I own it. I own the movie.
Okay. Well, here's what you do. Have an anime night with you. And honestly, The Girl Who Leapt Through Time you could watch with Logan. It is completely kid safe.
I want to introduce him to some of the Miyazaki films. Totoro.
Dude,
Howl's Moving Castle,
watch Totoro this weekend.
Howl's Moving Castle, Princess Mononoke, Spirited Away.
Mononoke might be a little intense.
Yeah,
I'll be honest.
true.
That
Spirited Away was. I saw Spirited Away when I was about his age.
Spirited Away has its moments, but it's not too bad. Whereas Mononoke, there's some blood and some gore.
I guess that's true. How's Moving Castle's
no, though it is also probably one of the more confusing ones.
I guess that's also true.
It's not.
Totoro it is.
Totoro is like the plot doesn't matter. Totoro, the plot doesn't matter. You could also watch Nausicaa. Nausicaa's pretty good.
Kiki's Delivery Service.
We have 2 Kiki posters in our home, and I still haven't seen it.
Sounds like that's what you're watching for date night.
Maybe that's a very reasonable choice to make.
We should end because holy shit, this file is gonna be gigantic on my computer. It's gonna be like,
who cares?
I care.
Who cares?
I gotta walk the dogs. I still gotta work tomorrow. I gotta drive tomorrow. I got a bunch
but we haven't talked about clock stoppers yet.
Oh my god, save it! Oh my god, clock stoppers! No, no, we are ending the podcast. This podcast is done. I don't even want to do another episode because I'm gonna have to hear about fucking clock stoppers. Holy shit, dude! So okay. So I would. Oh god, that movie's so fucking stupid. In college, before you were there as a freshman, I was on the first floor, and my first floor would do movie nights, and so that's how I saw Memento. That's how I saw Whole Nine Yards. That's how I saw Clockwork Orange. It's also how I saw Clock Stoppers. And boy howdy, is that movie bad.
I unironically loved Clock Stoppers.
I cannot believe that.
I loved Clock. I watched it all the time.
It took too long in the fucking podcast that I wanted to host.
They're already done?
So they're done. We've been going longer than everybody else.
Oh my god, Sphere! Sphere! Oh my god, you need to watch Sphere too.
I don't think I do.
We should have. Okay, here's what we should actually do.
I don't think I actually do.
We should have Discord movie night. We can find some of these. You can stream them into a Discord server. That's mostly legal.
Like a stream, like a Discord, like a Raw Talkin' It stream movie night, or just a college friends movie night, or both.
Oh no, we could do Raw Talkin' It.
Oh god, that sounds terrible.
No, we could totally, and we could have a chat open. We can make.
Oh my god, we can make a new segment where it's called Raw Reviews.
Yeah, and we can watch we can watch actual good movies and actual bad movies.
Fuck.
Oh god, I saw this one. Why the fuck did I see that movie? Premonition with Sandra Bullock. I don't know. That's a weird one.
Sandra B, baby. Sandra B.
I mean, she can do no wrong.
She can do no wrong. I unironically love the Miss Congeniality movies.
It's been a very long time, but I remember them being fun as hell.
I love them. I love both of them. They're fucking funny, and I love Sandra B.
I love movies where they absolutely play into some genre, but they play it up in a way which is completely accessible to people who don't usually like the genre. This is why I also like Crazy Stupid Love, which I made you watch.
Good movie. It's a good movie.
And that, like, you were like, this is actually like it's the best
it's a-
rom-com that has ever been made.
It's a very good movie.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's like it doesn't do the same shit as every other fucking rom-com stuff. Also, speaking of unironically liking movies, when I was a kid, I really liked Taxi because I'm a piece of shit.
I don't know if I've seen Taxi.
Queen Latifah and Jimmy Fallon.
Oh, I'm aware of this movie, but I don't think I've seen it.
She has like a supercharged fucking taxi. Like she just fucking. It's not a good movie. It's really not.
Now I looked up time travel movies, and now I'm like, I want to rewatch it.
Jimmy Fallon. The IMDb score is a 4.5 out of 10. It is not a good movie, like by any means. The Rotten Tomatoes is a 9%. It's a very bad movie, but I enjoyed it as a kid.
Legit, have you seen Sphere? Do you know what that is?
I have never seen it.
It is. Here, I'll be very brief.
1998, huh?
Sphere.
Yeah.
It stars Dustin Hoffman and Samuel L. Jackson, and a few other people.
What's the movie? It's another like alien movie or whatever. Is it Close Encounters?
The Abyss.
No. It's the one where they have the rocket and the rocket blows up, but then the other side has the exact same fucking rocket. The other side of the world.
That's Contact.
Contact, thank you.
Contact is amazing.
Contact is great, and I just couldn't think of the fucking movie for a second.
I won't spoil it, but Dungeons and Daddies, there's a Contact reference.
Oh, thank God.
But Sphere is Dustin Hoffman and Samuel L. Jackson and a few other people are recruited to a super secret underwater bottom of the ocean mission where the government seems to have stumbled upon what appears to be the wreckage of a spaceship.
Oh, it's a Michael Crichton movie?
And it's a Michael Crichton book.
Oh.
It's very good because the twist, the like main twist that really gets your brain churning happens like 30 or 40 minutes into the movie. And the moment that twist happens, for the rest of the movie, you're just like, I do not know what is going to happen next.
Ooh, while looking up Michael Crichton movies, I found another time travel movie that is done by him called Timeline.
I have read the book and seen the movie.
2000.
The book is significantly better. That one is, they go back, a bunch of like scholars go back in time to like medieval times.
There's a wormhole and a dig.
Yeah. They attempt to go back in time. So in the book, what happens, it's far more gruesome than the movie. In the book, they send a bunch of scholars back, and they have like this guide with them who's been back before and then come back to the present. And they go back in time to the like medieval times, and like 5 minutes after they arrive in the past, their guide, who's the one who knows everything about what they need to be doing, is killed. He gets decapitated by a knight who's like riding by and just like cuts his head off, and then they're stuck in the past and they have to get back to the future without changing the past.
Oh shit.
And it's Michael Crichton. Michael Crichton, his actual books, I've read several. They are intense. If you've ever heard
the Jurassic Park book sitting in my fucking room, I just haven't read it.
It's very good. Have you read or have you heard of the book Prey?
Yes.
Angry Swarm of Nanobots.
Yep. It's what the game is based off of.
They eat some people.
It's
the nanobots eat some people
because they like Prey. The game that came out from Bethesda recently is like this nano liquid that like transforms and shit and can cloak and hide itself and then will eat you.
Yeah. That's basically the book. The book is like a desert research facility. A bunch of nanobots go insane.
Yes.
Yeah. Michael Crichton, I read a bunch of his books. Sphere is actually one of the books I never got around to reading. But the movie is so good that you don't need to worry about it. But no, you could totally watch Sphere with. It is spooky, but I think it's family friendly. There's no sex, there's no gratuitous violence. I think there's a few deaths, but they're all off screen and like not that bad. So I don't know what you guys do, but Sphere also has, in addition to Dustin Hoffman and Sam Jackson and a few other famous people, randomly Queen Latifah. It's one of her earlier movie roles. She's in it for a little while.
Nice. Jesus Christ. We
Um,
gotta be done. I gotta walk my dogs soon. You just keep going. You've had too much to drink, my friend. This is
sure.
gonna be a very long fucking. Uploading this to YouTube is gonna be a nightmare. I'm gonna have to start.
Oh my god! And now I see a thing about Galaxy Quest.
Oh, Galaxy Quest is so good.
All right,
I love Galaxy Quest.
end it. But you should also totally watch Sphere this weekend. I think it's on Netflix. Maybe not. It maybe isn't anymore.
Thanks everybody for coming to this TED Talk. Let's go ahead. Bye. All right, we appreciate it, everybody, for a very interesting technical difficulty and long episode. But we appreciate you guys hanging in there. It was fun. It turned out to be a fun episode. We had a good time. Now with upgrades and degrades with your computer issues. I tried to make a joke.
I mean, it's fine for now, but honestly, at some point, I really do need to just like replace some stuff about my computer. But that's separate.
Different time, different place. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to go follow the Twitch channel. Twitch.tv/Titus2002. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on everything. Blah 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 blah. We're here. One of us is queer. We're having a good time.
I retweet a lot of art on Twitter. I don't tweet much else, but like,
I look at a lot of
if
art
you want
too. I try not to retweet a lot of art or cosplayers because a lot of them are a little. And I'm like,
I don't retweet anything like that. But if you want to make your Twitter a little
sometimes
less,
I see some art, I'm like, God, it looks good to like. Or a cosplay, I'm like, I want to like it, but I'm not gonna because
second account.
This is my Twitch account and all that. I use it for streaming and stuff, and I use it for all that stuff. And people who follow me are gonna say like, "This motherfucker is liking H art. What the fuck?" But again, that could maybe bring in some viewers. You never know.
Oh my god! Wait.
Oh no!
Michael just said he needs to know about clock stoppers.
No, he doesn't need to know about clock stoppers, my dude. He doesn't need to know about clock stoppers. It's not.
Clock stoppers is so good.
It's not. So, if you would, please, if you're just watching this for the first time, give us a follow. We do this every Thursday at about 6:45 Central Time. And then usually what we do is we'll do a little bit of pre-show. We record the podcast, and then we do some Zelda randomizer. We had some technical difficulties today, but that's okay. We know Zelda today. We'll finish Zelda soon. No big deal.
Just make sure and like that smash button, all right?
I can do it. I can keep a straight face. That caught me so off guard. I could not. All right. From now on, we have to end like that. That's so good. Oh my god. I really should have just looked over very quickly and hit the end button, but I could not keep it together. So you heard the man. You heard the man. Like that smash button and subscribe to our OnlyFans and our Patreons. They don't exist. But we love you guys. Thank you very much. And I'll see you guys next week. Joe might see you depending on how the computer goes. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Deuces.